Marcus Smart is no longer a Boston Celtic. Kristaps Porzingis is going to Boston, teaming up with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and much more for NBA Draft Night 2023. Welcome on into the Wise Guys podcast. I am John Tortorelli, Brand Capozziello, and today we'll be diving into the Celtics' new Big Three, what stars to expect to be traded on Draft Night, and much more around the NBA. BC, how you feeling this morning after the unexpected, wildly exciting trade last night, right after 12 o'clock?
Yeah, so I mean, I saw the earlier trade, the first trade that happened a couple hours prior to that, and then I saw a couple hours later that it didn't happen, and then there were rumors that Woj, I think, reported saying they're still trying to go get KP. The Celtics are, and they're moving on a deadline of midnight, I guess it was Eastern time. I had been in bed by I think like 11 o'clock. I went to sleep, so I just felt like if they're going to get the deal done, I'm going to wake up and see a deal get done. And lo and behold, it was Marcus Smart, one of the core players of this Boston Celtics team over the past 6-7 years now.
Nine years.
Nine,
Been drafted in
9 years.
2014. It feels like it's been 6. He's one of those guys that's come in at 19, 20 years old. So
Yeah, and he didn't get much shine early on, but yeah. I guess let's start with the KP to the Celtics. How you feeling about that?
So first off, let me develop or kind of give the feel for the entire trade because Brogdon was the health issue for the Clippers, ironically, and that was what blew it up. It would have been the 30th overall pick, Amir Coffey and Nick Batum going to the Washington Wizards, and the Celtics would not have gotten any picks in the deal. But now they're going to be getting not just Kristaps Porzingis, but 2 first-round picks, and what they're trading is Marcus Smart, the 35th overall pick, Mike Muscala, and Danilo Gallinari. That's it. So how do I feel about the Kristaps Porzingis trade? I thought Danny Ainge stepped down 2 years ago for the Celtics, and it turns out they cloned that man. Brad Stevens has done a wonderful job so far as the Celtics GM, turning Kemba and Al Horford. Later on, we saw what he was able to do an all-season ago, getting Malcolm Brogdon and Derek White as well. He's built this roster completely the right way, and now he's turning Marcus Smart after 9 years into a borderline top 5 center. There's no denying what Marcus Smart has become in the NBA. Defensive Player of the Year, the first guard to do it since Gary Payton in '96. Marcus Smart is also not as good as everybody thinks he is. He's coming off the worst defensive season of his career, and as a 32% spot-up shooter, the Celtics lived and died by the three-point line. And his general sporadic play and total inconsistency from three-point land played a pretty big role in them constantly swinging. It was pretty bad. Now you bring a near 40% career three-point shooter in Porzingis, who can not only score out the post in the in-between space, something the Celtics desperately needed, but you add in 2 first-round picks if you want to flip Brogdon now into a more reliable playmaker that can replace what Marcus Smart brought to the table. I'm giving the Celtics an A for this trade, man, because you got 2 picks on top of this. Ultimately, if you want to extend Porzingis long-term, you can't have Marcus Smart in your books anyways. So it wasn't going to be, oh, you're going to give up nothing for one of the 35, 40 best players in the NBA. You've got to give up something. And not only is Marcus Smart a worse player, but I think what he's brought to the table for the Celtics has already sort of cemented in his cultural impact that was implanted years ago. And now that he's going to his 10th season, it feels like he's just losing the motivation that once made him such a great defender earlier on in his career.
So I can't disagree with you saying that Marcus Smart didn't have a down season defensively, because there's no arguing that he obviously did, going from Defensive Player of the Year, first team all defense, to you don't even get one shake at a all defensive award.
I thought it was a team with Derek White. Am I wrong?
No, I just looked up his awards. A 2022 first team all NBA. He didn't get all defensive team. He didn't get second or third team this year. But yeah, what I will say to that is he's when's his birthday? Yeah, he just turned 29 this year. So he's still in that prime area, right? I disagree. I don't know if you come from the token where you think Marcus Smart's just on this decline now, where he's not going to, kind of go back to what he was. He's obviously always been a streaky 3-point shooter. I think he's a career 32% 3-point shooter. he's he'll take big shots, he'll make big shots, he'll have a game here and there, but he's not somebody to rely on like that, right? He's really there to bring a defensive intensity, a tenacity to the game, a guy who's going to do all the dirty plays, hustle his ass off, get boards, dive on the floor for loose balls, draw fouls, charges, and shit like that. Be a veteran now too. That's where I think Memphis won in this deal, because that's exactly what they were looking for, a guy like that in terms of a veteran presence with a strong voice. I like that for Memphis, right? Especially with Ja being
A
suspended.
veteran presence like Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is a clown, John. These are not the same people.
He was better last year than Smart, but continue.
Yeah, still nobody respects him. Not even his contemporaries.
Continue.
The only people that respect him are his people that play with him in Memphis. Paul George doesn't even respect. People don't respect him in the NBA.
We'll get to the Grizzlies. Keep going.
Yeah. And then in terms of the Celtics, I think they also hit a home run, like you said. I love what they got in return. They got Kristaps Porzingis, a 7'3" guy, stretch 5, stretch 4, whatever you want to play him at, who's had his career year last year, especially defensively too. I love and 2 first-round picks this year. I think the 25th overall pick.
Yeah.
And next year they got a first-round pick via the Golden State Warriors. So I think the Celtics won in their own right too, because they got exactly what they wanted. They obviously wanted Kristaps, and they were willing to give up, Marcus Smart for it.
And I think Kristaps being traded out of Dallas was the best thing for his career. Not because he just got away from Luka. He got 2 springs off because we knew they weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. He shot a career high this year, 48% from mid-range. The Celtics offense needed somebody outside of Brogdon and Jaylen Brown who could really create offense, and his face-up game, plus the fact he just shot 38.5% from deep, opens up so much to these 2 stars. It's not just the trailing 3-pointers in transition, the pick and pop element that any stretch big can add. It's the fact you can run actions with KP at the high block, different areas around the floor with Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum coming off, peeling off screens. And it just adds another element, a completely different layer to a Celtics team that naturally needed another player who could take over games. And I also want to consider the fact that Al Horford's an old man. He is 38 next June. And I know he locks up Al Horford every time, I know Al Horford locks up Joel Embiid every time he plays him, but at this point, he's a backup center, a great backup center at that. And he's only getting paid $10 million a year. Time Lord's got injury concerns. Brad Stevens felt pigeonholed in making this move because if he didn't, what were you going to do at the center position? They want to get back to the 2020 version of themselves where Time Lord and Al Horford were so good defensively that they smothered teams with their size around the rim. And now they become impenetrable because a year ago, what made the Wizards a decent team was when Daniel Gafford and Kristaps Porzingis were on the floor together. They had a ton of rim protection, and teams had a hard time really getting downhill. So now you add that on top of the guards. And Derek White, let's be honest, he is better than Marcus Smart at this point. No disrespect. He's just a more versatile defender that can protect the rim and weak side rim. He's just as switchable. I think he's a little bit more. He's an inch taller. And he's also a elite on-ball guard defender. If he's a clearly better spot-up shooter too, that's a good connector and plays well in transition, I think Brad Stevens knew he was able to make this move because of how good White has become, but then also the fact that he can flip Brogdon into something else now with these assets he gained.
Yeah, no, I don't know if Derek White is a better player per se than Marcus Smart. They both bring different things to the table. I think what I would agree with you is Derek White is what the Celtics need. What he does best is what the Celtics need, because Marcus Smart does lack in the shooting department. So yeah, I do think they're not done making moves. I think Brogdon is going to have to be moved. I've heard reports that it's a significant injury, like it's bad. So I don't know what you're going to be able to get from him, if you're even going to be able to trade him. But yeah, they definitely have a need in the guard department. They got a first-round pick this year. So yeah, we'll see how the Celtics. Thumbs up for the Celtics, and I do think it's a thumbs up for the Memphis Grizzlies as well.
And that's why I totally disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Grizzlies are doing. So The first part of your offseason is saying we're bringing back Dillon Brooks under no circumstance. Ja Morant gets suspended 25 games. It seems like the Grizzlies just don't really care about addressing the real issue. It's the fact that Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson are not good enough when Ja Morant is your number one to be the second and third offensive creators. So what do the Grizzlies do? They move off of Brooks to trade another one of their key role players and 2 first-round picks for Marcus Smart. I hate to be the guy, but Dillon Brooks moving forward is probably a better defender than Smart. Given how Smart looked last year, for the first time in his career, the Celtics defense was better when he was off the floor. Opponents shot a career worst 3% better when Smart was defending them, an effective field goal percentage. Not only was it the worst year of his career statistically on that on the floor, it just feels like when you get the validation of Defensive Player of the Year, when you are Marcus Smart, after all that you've overcome, a player came from nothing. At a certain point, when you get that much validation, there's nothing more to prove. And because the Grizzlies making such a stupid trade, they're less likely to win a championship than the Celtics now. So it's not even like that would really make a difference for him. They needed 3-point shooting and honestly, a real second creator because Desmond Bane is more of a third. And what do? You get a worse 3-point shooter than Dillon Brooks and Marcus Smart, who shoots 32% for his career. And Dillon Brooks' worst year of his career shot 32%. For his career, he shoots 34. I think it was so stupid to make this decision because they didn't need a Ja Morant babysitter. That's not why they got destroyed by the Lakers in the first rounds. The Grizzlies needed a real second star who could create offense at a high level, particularly from the perimeter, opening up the floor for Desmond Bane to then be your tertiary ball handler. Marcus Smart is going to have the same exact issues Dillon Brooks did. And if you think that this is going to move the needle for them, I think they missed an opportunity. The 25th overall pick could be used in this draft class on a variety of different wings who could contribute. Cost-effective players like Maxwell Lewis, Bryce Sensabaugh, and a handful of others who are not only much higher in many other draft classes in terms of where they're being selected, but they can contribute very early on, providing the skill sets that the Grizzlies need. And now it just seems like they're an emotional franchise with ownership coming down at the hammer fist. You're not going to bring back DB. It's like, well, this guy has been a huge cultural piece. And I don't think he was the issue. I think he's been scapegoated a little bit because now it seems like people have completely misunderstood his value.
All right, so you said a lot of things there, right? Let's try and address them one by one. I do agree Dillon Brooks was scapegoated. Even though my feelings on Dillon Brooks, I 100% can see that. I'm not blind. Now, let's also not mistaken Memphis in terms of the reason they got destroyed. Yes, the real crux of the issue for the Memphis Grizzlies, I said it from day one, is the second best player or second best scorer, I should say, was Desmond Bane. That's not going to work, especially in this Western Conference. It's not going to work. Ja Morant as your one can work, but Desmond Bane as your two is not going to work. No disrespect to Desmond Bane, very good player. He's not a two. So that, yes, I agree there. But also in the Lakers series, that team was destroyed. And Steven Adams, their best rim protector, was gone. They had no size. Brandon Clark was also injured. They had no size with him. That's two of their best big men on the team besides Triple J. But now in terms of Marcus Smart coming to Memphis, the reason I like it, I said it a little earlier, a veteran presence who's got a strong voice in the locker room. That is what they needed because there's been a lot of reports going around that this team internally is shaky. All right. There's a lot of young players. There's a lot of immaturity, I guess I should say. Not making the best decisions, maybe is the best way to put it. A lot of players are not making the best decisions. So that's why I like to move there. In terms of on the court stuff with Marcus Smart, I wholeheartedly disagree that Dillon Brooks is a better player. There's no way in hell. Listen, Marcus Smart had a bad season. Okay, people have bad seasons, and they can bounce right back. If you think Marcus Smart is on a decline and he's not even going to be, he's not going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate again or Defensive Player of the Year winner. But will he be an All-NBA defender? 100%. I truly do believe that Marcus Smart can get back to that. I trust Marcus Smart, even though he's a worse 3-point career shooter than Dillon Brooks. I trust Marcus Smart in the playoffs to make a wide open three more than Dillon Brooks.
Totally
I
fair.
truly do believe that because Dillon Brooks talks way too much and does nothing to back it up. He talks himself out of the game because when the moment gets big, when the lights get the brightest, he comes up small. Small. All right. You don't want a guy like that on your team who's going to talk this big game. And when he gets cooked, he's running away from reporters and not facing the heat. You don't want that in your culture. Marcus Smart ain't going to do that. All right. You don't want that in your culture. That's bad for culture.
It's a bad look. But this is also a guy that 2 years ago averaged 26 points per game in a playoff series, shooting 40% from downtown. This was far and away the
What have you
worst
done
year
for
and the
me
worst
lately?
moment of Brooks' career. The right thing as a franchise to do is back him up, instill a little bit of confidence in him, and ideally get him to play better next year because he's going to kind of progress back to the norm, which is a 35% career three-point shooter for him. I think that Dillon Brooks is better than Marcus Smart because this year he was much better defensively. But at 6'7", you're looking at a guy who can defend Zion Williamson and then at the same time can switch on to guards. He's done it this year. In fact, he was one of the best matchups on Zion. In the playoffs, he couldn't guard LeBron James because his confidence was totally shattered. But this is an all-league defender that clearly has better days ahead of him. At 27 years old, right? Yeah, 27, he's still young. Made his first all-defensive team. Marcus Smart at 29 had far and away his worst defensive season.
I don't
Like,
know.
even in the playoffs, when the Miami Heat were going up 3-0, the guy was totally disengaged and he looked like, oh yeah, I'm mailing in. I'm like, how did this guy win defensive player of the year 12 months ago? And it felt like he was picking and choosing when to play hard defensively. So yes, do they get a much needed cultural upgrade? Yeah, but that's not going to make them a better basketball team. And that's the case. And here's the other thing too. But Ja Morant has the decisions he made on the court are a horrible look, right? Given how impactful, given how influential he is, how many kids look up to him, it's embarrassing that he can't control not showing up a gun on Instagram Live over making millions in the NBA. I really don't think Marcus Smart coming in is going to affect that. If Ja Morant's going to continue to make that behavior, there's really nothing a guy like Marcus Smart can do to control it in my eyes. It's just, unfortunately, the part where, hey, look, your star player has to grow up at some point. And if he's not do that on his own, then nobody in your locker room is really going to change that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, somebody's not gonna you can't help somebody unless they want to help themselves. That's 100% true. But I don't think it's gonna hurt to have Marcus Smart in the locker room. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Um, I also don't think, while you might not think that they're gonna get better with Marcus Smart, I don't think they get worse with Marcus Smart than Dillon Brooks. I don't. I think what's going to hinder this team, and if they have a worse record, is not going to be the Marcus Smart trade. It's going to be Ja Morant was suspended for 25 games. So I don't think that impacts them there. Yeah, I just, I get it. For me with Dillon Brooks, it's just, yeah, can he come back? 100%. I don't know if he's getting any calls. I know a lot of people during that playoff series were saying this guy's going to be in China. A lot of people were cracking those jokes. Now, so I don't know if he's going to be on a team next year. I don't know if anybody's going to take a chance on him next year. And I don't know if this guy's confidence is shattered. We've seen this in sports. If your confidence goes, brother, you're done. You're done. There's nothing you can do because that's where, if you don't believe in yourself, there's no point in anybody else believing in you. That's where it starts. So if your confidence is shot, you're done. So I'm not even going to take a chance on that. That's why I was saying hell no to our boy FLB when he was saying get Dillon Brooks to the Miami Heat. He ain't handling that culture. He can't handle that culture. Are you kidding me? Get out
Sure
of here.
about that.
100%.
This is a former second-round pick that's made his way to NBA starter.
And he couldn't face the Heat when he was talking shit after the game. In the biggest moments, he couldn't face the Heat. He couldn't. Every single game. It wasn't just one time. It was every game that they lost. He talked shit beforehand and then couldn't face the Heat afterwards. He was gone. MIA. Nobody could find him. That's not – you think anybody on the Miami Heat would do that? No. The hell out of you. You hear how Dwayne Wade talks about Pat Riley, the story of LeBron James wanting Pat Riley to come down and coach him, and Dwayne literally had to have a conversation with him, say, you don't want that. You don't want the Godfather coming downstairs. No, Dylan Brooks can't. I'm sorry. It's no. He's got to go do some soul searching or whatever and learn. Like, listen, if you're gonna, I respect people who can talk shit, but you gotta. If you're not gonna back it up, you gotta at least sit here on the camera while the reporters are asking you questions and answer that. You cannot run. Cam Newton got obliterated for that in the Super Bowl. Countless people have gotten it. Jordan Poole turning his back to reporters. You got to show up. You got to show up.
Got to take the heat.
Yep. And
speaking of FLB,
and he can't take the heat, pun intended.
Speaking of FLB, you've got him in the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in, Romaine Davis.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into FLB, nice to see you. Hope you're having a great morning.
What's up?
What's up?
I was just editing this trade video already because I was about to get it up before I go to work today. But this is quite a doozy. Still disagree on the Dylan Brooks in Miami take. That's cool. But I'm on your side with the Marcus Smart to Memphis thing. I will say I think him having a bad defensive season last season was more of an aberration than it is the standard, considering the fact that everybody on the Boston Celtics had a down defensive season after losing Ime. It's not really just him. There's a reason why that whole team kind of looked fractured after losing him. So I would say it's easily, you can see it. Now, maybe not DPOY because I didn't even think he deserved that in the first place. But he can definitely get back to an all defensive first team type of play in Memphis. And it's not even a babysitter for Josh situation. It's more of just a veteran presence, just some maturity on the court. You're not gonna stop Ja from doing the bullshit he's doing if he wants to keep doing it. But again, you see what veterans, the guys like Udonis Haslem and Patrick Beverly, guys that actually have a voice in the locker room can do for you. As you get them. And to be honest, and Marcus is one of those guys that the regular season numbers may not look too great, but consistently he's up to his game in the playoffs time and time again. So you're looking for, and you have somebody not can run the show, even though Tyus Jones is probably one of the best backup point guards. You're going to see him average like 20-7 in Washington after this. But I think a lot of people don't realize how good he is. You still not. I think Marcus is still a point guard that you can use that can run the show a little bit until Ja does come back. At the end of the day, it's more of a positive than negative for me because at the end of the day, they needed a creator of the Mikal Bridges. I wouldn't say OG is that type of creator yet. But that's that type of player. But you weren't gonna get. But obviously, the first round picks weren't gonna get you those guys. They weren't gonna get you Lurie because Lurie fits the Utah Jazz's rebuilding timeline, and they probably want to build around him. And you're not gonna get Mikal because obviously Brooklyn already rejected the first round picks for him anyway. So the guys you wanted aren't available for what you're trying to offer anyway, because the teams value them more than that anyway. So you might as well go get somebody else that can actually fill a certain role that you already need, instead of sitting here on your hands looking for something that's never going to materialize for itself.
I want to throw a trade scenario out there, right?
Oh boy.
Tell me if I'm crazy though, right? For the Celtics, because you brought up the Utah Jazz. There's a point guard on the team, Colin Sexton, who is apparently in trade, block, whatever you want to call it. Would it be smart for the Celtics to take the 2 first-round picks? I don't know if that's asking too much, and say, Utah, will you trade us Collins because they need a guard? Get Collins.
Who's the salary filler though? Because I'm pretty sure Collins is making some.
I mean, you're gonna have to fill that one out for me. I don't know, Peyton Pritchard.
All the reports are going on that Brogdon's injury is so significant that no team probably want to trade for him right now. So that's the problem.
Hypothetically, they're able to figure it out and not get rid of a core piece. Would you guys do that if you're the Celtics? Try and go.
If you can do that, but right now the only guy that you can trade looks like he's not even able to pass his physical for these trades anyway. So
it's tough. He's got 2 more years tacked on at $44 million.
That's a big
exactly. Word. So it's a big thing right now. They said right now all the reports is that those two first round picks aren't going to stick for long. I know they're not. They're probably going to use them to try to get somebody, but it's just that matters what the salary filler is going to be, because you already used all your salary filler anyway in Marcus, in Danilo Gallinari. So, and I think the only guy you have in the roster right now that's making like above $5 million that's not in your top 4 or 5 right now, or somebody that you want to keep on the roster, is Peyton Pritchard in Malcolm Brogdon. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to find trades, especially to find salary filler for guys that you really need. And on the Memphis side of things, even if you use those late first round picks to get somebody in the draft later, I'm not going to lie to you. That's not what they need right now. They don't need anybody else young that they need to develop. I get they're a very young team and they still have time, but you're trying to accelerate. You're trying to put yourself in a competitive state right now, so you consistently in the second round conference finals, those situations like Boston, so you get those reps. And I don't think a young guy in the draft is going to put you in that position. So those first round picks, especially late first round picks, are going to do anything crazy for you. And right
You're
now,
gonna learn something about Maxwell Lewis.
hey, I may not. Right now, I don't even care about Miami's 18th pick. I hope by the time we're picking 18, it's not even our pick anymore. So
That's facts.
I don't really give a damn about this draft outside the lottery for certain teams. Because and everybody else outside the lottery is looking to trade their pick for win now players right now. I'm not gonna like right now we're seeing the Blazers about to do something incredibly stupid. The Lakers are looking to trade that 17th pick, and Bradley Beal, Buddy Hield and Miles Turner are looking like people that could be involved for that type of draft capital. Yeah, of course you're looking to trade those picks if you're a team trying to win now. So at the end of the day, those late first round picks really don't mean shit to me for those two teams, for either one of those teams in Boston or for Memphis. I think overall the trade is pretty good on every side. I'm just worried about it on Boston's side. Because a lot of reasons. One, you just gave Jaylen Brown especially since you may not be able to trade Brogdon, you gave him more ball handling responsibilities and playmaking responsibilities. Two, you saw the locker room issues and all the on-court issues and chemistry issues they had last season. Now you get rid of another guy in the heart and soul of the roster. That could be even more of a bigger problem for them in that locker room. And while Kristaps just had the healthiest season of his career, he also had the healthiest season of his career while playing meaningless basketball in Washington. And what's even worse here is the fact that we saw what happened in Dallas when he wasn't getting the touches that he always wanted and getting all the touches he always wanted. He looked disengaged, and in some of those playoff games, he just looked like he didn't want to be on the court. And now he's probably going to even less of those touches with two ball dominant guys in Boston. So unless he buys into winning now, this may also become another problem for them. Not to mention all his injury history and getting in the playoffs. Let's face it, the East is a gauntlet of some physical ass bigs. You're gonna run into Joel Embiid. You're gonna run into the Knicks with either Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle.
Say what you want, Gary.
Giannis.
It's not about how good they are. It's about this. It's about the physicality that his body's not able to handle.
That's like Al Horford. I think that's like the perfect backup center.
How long are you going to rely on Al Horford at 38?
Bro, that guy's 78. He's still shutting down Embiid. I mean, he can do it.
Like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. He's going to
30.
He's going to.
I'm just saying normally the over under
down a league MVP.
Outside of one season, the over under on Larry Marketing playing 40. I mean, on Kristaps Porzingis playing more than 50 games in the season and being fully healthy for an entire playoff run. It ain't looking too great. But other than that, he's one of the best drop defending bigs last season. He was one of the best spot up shooting bigs. He was one of the best bigs at attacking closeouts last season too.
Yeah.
And he gives them an in-between game that they lack with Jayson Tatum since he doesn't want to shoot mid-range jumpers, and now they don't have to live and die by the three.
He's not good at it.
Huh?
He wanted to early in his career. This like a 39% mid-range guy.
Yeah, he gives him a nice in-between game right now so that, they don't have to live and die by the three as much as they do anymore. It always all depends on how it fits together. And to be honest, if this doesn't work out, especially if the Celtics have an even worse down year than they did last year and it doesn't work out in the playoffs, and let's say they finally get screwed over and they get and James Harden's back in Philadelphia and this time Philadelphia beats them with this shit, it's not gonna look pretty because I don't think this is a trade that Jayson Tatum or Jaylen Brown okayed. I don't think this was a call for either of them to say, yeah, we want that at all. And if the front office is acting independent of what their stars want, at the end of the day, you're paying a big risk because you're gonna have to pay Jaylen Brown that money. And Jayson Tatum is up in 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
and it looks like they want to sign KP. They want to up him. So listen, I just got it.
That's even worse too.
That's scary. That is scary.
There's apparently you're going for it. There's apparently reports that the Celtics are not done. They're still going to be shopping. So I expect some moves to be happening, but
I just don't know who they have to make the moves though. I just don't know what.
Pull back up the Wizards who have 5-point guards all on the market. By the way,
Ish Smith?
No, he's not one of them. He's an NBA champion.
Monty Morris, DeLon Wright,
CP0.
Don't do that. Come on, don't.
They don't have anybody. They don't have
Tyus
anybody to match
Jones,
that. They don't have anybody to match that salary if it's not Brogdon. That's the thing.
Yeah, I think you can put up 2 of those guards. Let's say it's CP to Boston for Brogdon. I would do, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
And this is the frustrating part about this. When you rebuild, you have to actually execute it well for it to matter. You made the point before that all of the teams won this trade. I'm sorry, you can't win.
Oh yeah, Washington. Yeah, Washington.
If
Washington
you trade
kind of
2
sucked.
All-Stars and get 0 first-round picks, what an embarrassment!
Not even that. Not even just 2 All-Stars.
DeJounte get moved for 4 first-round picks. DeJounte is nowhere near as good as Bradley Beal or Kristaps, in all due respect. Just nowhere near as versatile as those 2 guys. You saw Rudy Gobert get traded for 5 first-round picks and players. I get the Washington Wizards want to rebuild, right? And that's great. But if you have 0 incoming first-round picks from other teams, and you decide to start rebuilding once the generational prospect gets drafted, then you're going to have an ugly rebuild. If you miss 1 or 2 years in the draft, you're going to go 4 years, 3 years without actually bringing a relevant prospect to your team. And this rebuild could be up to a decade. That is the price of being a delusional, somewhat ignorant franchise that thought you're good enough to make the play-in tournament. The lure of the play-in tournament cost them years in this rebuild, and it's just the beginning.
Well,
this is going to be probably one of the ugliest things we've ever seen in our lives.
It's a different front office now, so I can't really blame him for some of the moves that were made, like giving Bradley Beal a freaking no trade clause. But at the end of the day, they really didn't have much leverage. Again, Bradley Beal chose his fate, and Kristaps, with it being in the last year and him deciding if you want to opt in or opt out, technically that's like a no trade clause in that sense. Where it's just like, if he opted in, that trade gets done and you get Tyus Jones. If he doesn't, now you lose him for absolutely freaking nothing. It is what it is. It is what it is at this point. All you can do is just move off of these guys. Now you have I think right now the 2 best players on the roster now is Tyus Jones and Daniel Gafford. That's tough. But at the end of the day, you get now Dani Avdija has all the shots and all the offensive responsibility to develop as much as possible. There's no excuse for him not being able to develop into the player that you want him to be. Hopefully he's able to give you a season where he plays meaningless basketball and gives you like a nice 16 points per game and shows you defensive versatility. So next season in that draft, you trade him so you have multiple lottery picks instead of just
cool. Like every other rebuilding team. Here's the thing. You're right. It's a new front office. I like what Will Dawkins and Michael Runer have done so far, but it's the same exact owner that was delusional enough to think this could be a playing team. And I'm not blaming Tommy Shepard for waiting up until Bradley Beal's an unrestricted free agent to give him an extension. That's on the owner for being like, you can't trade him. We got to make the play-in tournament at whatever cost. If that's what your boss is telling you, you're going to follow the mandate. And I think everybody likes to blame the GM sometimes, but really it's a symptom of shitty ownership. And that's exactly what the Wizards have. One of the worst owners in pro sports. And until he can actually decide, you know what, I'm staying out of this, I don't think they're having any success as a franchise, because quite clearly the basketball people should actually handle the basketball things.
Yeah. I mean, this all started with them signing Bradley Beal to that massive contract. That was the time to rebuild and move on. And
they should have never signed Kristaps in the first place. Or traded for Kristaps.
That was a good move. But speaking of stars that are on the move, today on draft night could be an absolute insane night, because not only do we have Victor Wembanyama and a deep draft class that follows him, we have a handful of stars that are on the trade market. Karl Towns, Zach LaVine, Pascal Siakam maybe. I mean, it's been long enough now for the Raptors. I want to ask you guys, what star do you expect to be moved on draft night? And if you could, do you have a potential mock trade listed that entices you?
Cat, definitely, I think will probably be moved. I don't know where. I don't have that trade, but right now I think Minnesota is in that position right now where they need to just make a decision on the timeline that they want. Cat has shown that he's not going to be he can't be the number 2 next to Anthony Edwards, and he's just not going to fit well. He's not going to fit well playing the 4 and defending 4s if Rudy Gobert is on the roster, and you're not going to be able to trade Rudy Gobert for anything significant to recover what you just gave up for him, and you're not going to be able to draft any young players to fit your building any more than you already are. So at this point, Cat just needs to go. At this point, I don't know exactly where. I would say look at Toronto. Maybe you try to get OG, and you actually have a defensive front court. You have the wings are filled out with Anthony Edwards, Jalen McDaniels, and OG. 3 great defensive wings, and then you have Rudy Gobert down low. That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing for them. Not to mention Mike Conley. He's older, so he's not the same defender he was in Memphis, but he's not. He's still a pretty good defender at the end of it all. So hopefully, I would like to see him be moved. Pascal is a little bit less. There's been reports that Toronto is just very, very difficult to trade with. So there's that. But those are the only two guys I really think have my radar.
And a Cat, the beauty in it is, if you trade him to Toronto, in all due respect, if Cat's your best player, you're good. You're bad enough to still tank, as we saw for years with the Timberwolves. He doesn't drive winning like many other stars. I think Zach LaVine really could be great on draft night. It was reported the Knicks were preparing an offer for multiple first-round picks. If I'm the Bulls, it was a fun year we had with DeMar cooking the entire league. Lonzo Ball for 35 games and Alex Caruso off the bench. But sadly, things have really just developed as poorly as possible for Chicago. Lonzo Ball, a potential career-ending knee injury. So sad at 24 years old for a guy that was having one of the best years, the best year of his career. And you also got to factor in, too, I mean, where are you headed now with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan if you don't have probably the league's best role player to support them? That's exactly what Lonzo is, the league's best role player. And I think that is directly where you end up this year. You missed the playoffs, and not only do you miss the playoffs, you don't have your first round pick. It's quite
right. Damn.
It's quite clear. The Bulls need to kind of rebuild the right way. And while the Nick Vucevic contract, the deal didn't work out too well for them, I think a reset here would do wonders for the fan base. The franchise is in a very tough spot, which is called purgatory. And if they don't make it a clear, I guess it would be, if they don't put their sights set on getting out of purgatory, they're just going to get further and further stuck here. And at some point, you got to trade LaVine when he's still in his 20s. He has a lot of appeal to teams, and he's not getting injured. And I'm afraid next year he might get injured, which really could tank his value.
That and DeMar DeRozan is only getting older. And I've heard talk. I think it was like a week or so ago. You heard talks about them coming up with an extension for Nick Vucevic, and I just almost rolled my eyes. I'm just like, cool, whatever. You guys can keep doing dumb shit. But at this point, with that core three, you can probably net some with what certain players are going for. You can probably net some good draft capital for all three of those guys right now. So you most likely try to move off of them.
We're talking about Chicago right now, right?
Yeah.
If I'm Chicago, so if you're basically going with the idea, because it all started, which really sucks, with Lonzo's injury, right? They had much more high hopes. I think they would have been a better team. Do I think championship team? No. I think they would have been a better team though than what they currently are. I think, yes, it's time to probably move off of, like Romain just said. You can get some draft capital for Zach LaVine. Vucevic, I think you move off of. I think you keep DeMar simply because he's a veteran. So when you're into that new rebuild, you at least have that guy who can be a veteran. And you got to pay somebody some money. So just let DeMar have.
You don't have to
him around. And then Lonzo, I mean, we don't know what's going to go on there. There might be a retirement. There might, that's just up in the air. So I think, yeah, it's probably time for Chicago to move off. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys were talking about where you think Zach LaVine's going. I wasn't here. I don't know if you guys did, but I don't know where he ends up though. That's my big.
People have been linking him to Miami, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not. I've said, yeah, I'm good. So it's not, I don't think it's Miami. I haven't heard any rumors or anything like that from Miami. I don't think they would move off of their team for Zach LaVine. So
the one team that stands out is the Knicks because they have a couple of fake first-round picks that seem appealing. And reportedly yesterday, they're preparing an offer. It's not yet known that they actually set it out.
Do you think they would would you include Julius? Would Julius be the main piece to surround that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so Randall and maybe a 2 first, I guess.
That would be good. You actually give Obi some actual responsive in actual minutes.
You could throw RJ coming off the bench.
Yeah, I know. I heard that they're shopping him, but still, I'd rather.
No. There is a report that during the Miami series, Obi Toppin in the locker room got mad. Tibbs Tibbs, F is wrong with you. He's like, what are you doing? And then you hear somebody that doesn't sound like Tibbs. It might have been Rick Brunson because it really did not sound like Thibodeau at all. It's got that deep, thick voice. And they're like, he's the coach, I'm like that. And they had to apparently hold Obi back. So somebody in Knicks Twitter creates an AI of Tom Thibodeau being like, We've got nothing else to do. Gotta trade him. I want to pull it up. It's so funny. I was crying at it.
I mean, if I was Obi, I'd be mad at him too. Why is Julius still on the floor? Please, like, why? At the end of the day, Obi deserves at least some ability to actually show what he can do and actually get some good minutes as a lottery pick. I feel bad for some of the guys that are lottery picks, or those guys that go to teams like this that don't want to with coaches that don't want to play young guys. Like, it sucks for them. But at the end of the day, they're still a very young team, and Julius Randle is obviously showing you who he is multiple times. We already said throughout this entire play, I was going to show you who a lot of these guys are. Everybody's healthy. There's no excuses. And Julius Randle showed you again who he actually is, and I think it's time to move off of him. Yeah. And if you get him for Zach LaVine, which is, I don't know if that's the best move, unless you get a haul of first round picks for fake or not from the Knicks. I don't know if that's the best move for Chicago, but at the end of the day, you move off of that. And I don't think you keep DeMar. If anything, the locker room presence guy that you keep on the roster, maybe somebody like Pat Bev. You don't need to keep somebody that can net. I don't really think you keep anybody that can net you a lot of value, like DeMar DeRozan at this point.
That's a free agent, though, right?
Is he?
I think so. Well, because he got traded from LA. He got released from LA. He got
traded for Mo Bamba. I mean, no. He got
No, Pat Bev is an FA. He'll probably sign for the vet minimum.
No, I don't think he's going back to Chicago, if I gotta be honest.
Really? It's where he's from. He clearly
said run it back.
Yeah, I think he stays, man. He's needed.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
It would be a good.
Yeah, him to Miami is the move to make. But we don't have to get into
it. I know everybody's looking for the whole Dame trade request tonight, and I'm just like, people, please leave it alone. It's not happening. Just leave it alone. At this point, the way I see it with that Portland situation is only the only way it goes is right now is that there's one team that can make the offer better than everybody else for Dame, and that's Brooklyn. And Dame looks like he doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. He wants to be somewhere that's proven and wants to win now and not with young guys. And that's Miami. But Miami's not going to have the best trade package. And what I feel like all the Portland making all of their trade scenarios out in the public like this is just basically making that Bam one. Like, knowing that Bam is probably the most untouchable number 2 in the damn league, or you're nowhere near getting him. They're most likely just being like, hey, yo, we tried to get who you wanted. They just weren't available. What do you want us to do at this point? And that's basically making it seem like they're actually trying when they're really not. And then they just go ahead and draft Scoot or draft Brandon Miller, whoever's available, and then move on with their young core and try to keep Dame on to sell tickets. And then Dame realizes this and is going to be one or two ways. He's going to request a trade, not going to go where he wants to go because Portland's not going to oblige and send him where he wants to go if somebody else has a significant offer that's better than them. Or he stays and he's in a place that he already enjoys in Portland anyway. Mm-hmm. It's one or two ways, and I'm pretty sure the way it's going to go is that Dame's just going to stay put. Like,
There's a massive chance of him staying. I'm gonna hold out hope.
I'm not.
I'm going to be very, very pissed though if he doesn't come. But I'll get into that if the move doesn't happen because there's still some.
I'm done getting pissed at Dame for not moving ever since he didn't leave with CJ.
Well, yeah, but I just different reasons. But in terms of Miami and what. Actually, I don't even want to talk about Miami. I've talked enough about Miami. So who are some other stars that could be? Well, you know what? Let's talk about this. Draymond Green declines his player option.
Most likely, just re-signing for a smarter deal. Most likely,
that's where I'm kind of concluded at. He's just going to get a little more money
because there's nobody. Unless you want to be in LA for significantly less money because you love LeBron that much, which is insane, it's just resigning for. That's the same thing I think Chris Middleton is doing.
But all right, see, here's the difference in that move, though. I don't think Chris Middleton is going to get $40+ million per year.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he declined the deal and is most likely going to sign a new one that's different and lower money, allowing the Bucks some more flexibility to get better to win a championship.
So you're saying so you think Draymond's doing the Golden State Warriors a favor and he's going to take less money?
Yeah, that's both.
Ooh.
I think both of them doing the same thing. It makes no sense for Draymond to go anywhere else. They can't. Nobody else is gonna offer him that. He's not gonna make any more type of money, and I don't think he's gonna fit with any roster to help them win that much like he does in Golden State in the first place. I don't know who's gonna throw that type of money at a 30-something-year-old Draymond Green that would make it look better than to leave Golden State, unless Golden State hates him that freaking much and he feels like he needs to leave. And then the other end of it, at the end in Milwaukee again. Who's gonna pay? Nobody's gonna pay Chris Middleton anywhere near over more than maybe 18 to 20 mil per year at this point of his career.
That one I agree with, though. That one I agree with Chris Middleton, right? I just don't understand. I mean, you could say, okay, they're doing them favors in terms of Chris Middleton. A lot of players, you don't really see that much. If you got a chance at 40 million, you usually, you take that.
Yeah,
40
usually
million.
take it.
In terms of Draymond, I disagree with you there. I think Draymond's re-signing for more money.
What?
Yes.
Real quick, before he gets to that point, real quick, Romain, can you say that again? That no one is looking into Chris Middleton? What you said before?
I think nobody's gonna sign him for more than 18 to 20 million.
Say it with the Chris Middleton part, please.
Chris Middleton.
No,
I don't
like,
think
so,
anybody's
like,
gonna. I don't think anybody's gonna sign Chris Middleton for more than 18 to 20 mil outside of the Milwaukee Bucks.
You sure about that?
Houston Rockets.
I swear to freaking God, why?
The Rockets.
Who else is more money to spend?
It doesn't matter. It makes no sense.
No, it's the Rockets.
No, listen, it does nothing makes sense that the Rockets do. But yeah, I do think Draymond is going to I just
The
don't,
Warriors-
you don't see that. This is where I'm coming from with this argument. You don't necessarily see this a lot, especially in the NBA. A player declining an option where you can make more money and re-signing for less. You don't see that. That's where I'm coming from. Where I'm like, I don't think I usually see that move.
The only guy that I saw do it last season was
Russell
James.
Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, perfect example. Opts in. John Wall, perfect example.
That was with a team that didn't like him, though. That's the thing.
No, but I get that, but I'm just saying though. You don't. Those are the most recent ones that come to mind. Players usually opt in, so to get the most money possible, unless they think they can get more money on the open market, or the team's going to pay them more money. That's where I'm coming from.
I think you see, like you said, I think this is more like a James Harden situation last season where he realizes that, this is a real chance to win again. I think Golden State sees that they have a chance to actually put together a roster that can win again. I think Milwaukee sees that they have a chance to put together a roster that can win again because the NBA is wide open. So I'm thinking those guys are doing the same thing that James did, where they're just looking at their contract. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna sign a small deal. It's most likely to not give me more than a year or 2 or 2 years of the player option on it, and they're most likely gonna be like, look, I'm gonna give y'all this flexibility to go do what y'all need to do, and I'm gonna just sit here. We're gonna try to go win, and if this shit doesn't work out next season, I'm gonna just go try to get my money or get my money elsewhere. I think that's more of a deal, and I think Chris Middleton is most likely going to sign for multiple years because at the end of the day, you won in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is the place that gave you a shot, and you've been here for how damn long? You won a championship here. You can win multiple. Giannis is only 27 years old or 28. I don't know. I can't remember how old he is. I think both those guys are doing the same damn thing. I just don't see Golden State actually promising Draymond more money than 27 million when he wasn't even worth 27 million anymore anyway.
You know what?
Go ahead, John.
I think Mike Dunleavy has one of the toughest decisions in the Warriors franchise history, and there's no doubt about it because this is the most successful team you're maybe ever going to have when you really look at the last, 6 decades of the franchise. I think it's more likely the Warriors trade Klay Thompson. He's making $43 million on an expiring contract that many teams will take on. And to be honest, Klay just had the most three-point makes in his career this last year, but we saw in the playoffs, especially a full year removed from the ACL, he's going to be 34 years old soon. And I'm not there paying him over $40 million. I can't be, because Draymond has always been more important to that team, respectfully, because of his playmaking value. And even if you think like Kevon Looney replaces some of that, I think it's inevitable one of Klay or Jordan Poole gets traded. Just because Draymond is more important to this team. That being said, though, if I were Mike Dunleavy, I would be looking to hold on to Jordan Poole because trading him at the lowest point of his value doesn't make sense to me. This is not the offseason to do it. He was hurt this year, got punched and maybe knocked out by his own teammate. It was put on camera. If I got knocked out by one of my teammates, right, and then I went to home arenas with thousands and thousands, nearly 100,000 fans, 82 times, my psyche might be slightly messed up. And Brandon pointed out in this episode, confidence and mental is half of sports, maybe 51%. I am not gonna.
What's going to change next year? What's going to change this season? With that, there's nothing changing with Jordan Poole. It's going to still the same thing's going to be. The issue is still there. It's internally there. That's why Jordan Poole is the guy to move. Because what's going to change? What's going to change with his attitude?
It's not even attitude. I think there's a lot of things that compounded that made Jordan Poole. I mean, Jordan Poole in the regular season wasn't that bad, especially when he was starting. He was actually really good. He was really good as a starter. But when he came to playoff time, it looked worse than worse for wear. And a large part of that is also a lot of young guys you saw, like with the Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley. After a full year of you actually, getting heavy minutes, meaning that guy in the team has you on the scouting report, you're going to struggle when it comes to playoff time when the team has a full scouting report on you right now. That's exactly what happened with him.
I saw with Jordan Poole.
I know that's not the biggest issue. I know it's more of a. It was more of a confidence issue than anything. But I also think that
too, because it didn't even start with the Draymond punch. The reports when he got his money, his attitude changed, and people in the locker room were getting rubbed the wrong way. That's where it started. That's why Jordan Poole is the guy to move on from. You keep the core three around. You move Jordan Poole off, and you try and maybe get a big man that can actually be a 7-footer for you, unlike the failed project and James White.
You already have the bigs. You already have the bigs that you fit this team. I don't think there's a lot of bigs.
Not with Nikola Jokic. Those boys ain't doing nothing with Jokic.
Well, they've got
Who are you gonna trade for that is gonna do anything for Jokic?
At
Be
least
real.
A 7-footer who can put his hands in the air and get a decent.
That is Kevon Looney and Draymond.
Yeah.
That's Kevon and Draymond.
Look, if I were Mike Dunleavy, I hate to be the guy. I'm trading Clay because of the salary, but also I think Jordan Poole can bring all of the value off the catch that Clay can, plus the on-ball creation that you need. Look, I understand that there were some reports that Jordan Poole's attitude may have changed. He also got paid life-changing money, BC, at 23 years old. He's young. He's got to mature in time. And I think for the 32-year-old
have time,
veteran, for the big brother to knock him out, send him to the shadow realm for millions to see, was just really embarrassing. He's the reason why they blew a 3-1 lead. He got suspended in the most crucial moment of their franchise's history. That's on him if he doesn't get suspended for the antics on LeBron James. His feet are always places they shouldn't be, and it seems like his hands are too. The issue with Draymond Green has always been, for as great and as important as he has been to this Warriors iteration.
You just said he was the number 2 guy in the dynasty.
He has always made costly mistakes, which have verbatim cost them championships.
Let me ask you a question.
If he doesn't punch Jordan Poole, if he doesn't,
he's the most important guy because whenever they make
of the NBA Finals, we're looking at this Warriors franchise under a different light.
One championship, John. They were in the freaking the second round this year. Okay, they weren't in the finals. One championship he cost them. Let me ask you a question directly, okay? The issue is internally Draymond and Jordan Poole. That is why Draymond Green couldn't be what he was in years prior, okay? If that issue is not that issue's not going anywhere, because guess what? The video is not going anywhere. It's forever. It's in people's
I haven't seen that video in a while. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying the memory of the video. What's happening in Jordan Poole's psyche? That's not changing. We saw it in the playoffs. He walking past Draymond Green. So obviously, and Steph Curry having to check him. So obviously, this issue is still current. The move is you bring Draymond back, you trade Jordan Poole. The move is not trade Klay Thompson, one of the core 3 guys, and keep Jordan Poole when you know this problem's not going, and you're giving Jordan Poole even more minutes, even more touches and stuff like that, because he's taking,
which he was good with.
No, you don't do that. He's gonna get cooked on defense. Are we kidding right now?
Have you seen Klay? Have you seen Klay?
Are you gonna sit here and tell me right now 50% Klay Thompson is better than 100% Jordan Poole on defense? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
I would disagree on that one. Anyway,
trade Jordan Poole. The move is trade Jordan Poole. If you guys are sitting here saying Jordan Poole needs to stay on this team, I think you're not realizing.
Okay. But you can't. But then look at it this way. we've seen teams trade just to make trades before, and we see it be absolute freaking disasters more times than it has not. Now, you look at Jordan Poole, you're gonna trade. Who are you trading him for at the lowest of the lowest for his value right now? Who
I
are you trading him
haven't thought
for?
about that move yet. You're gonna have to give me a little time. If you could throw me some names, I'd love to. We could.
They're trying to go.
Zach Collins.
Who?
Keldon Johnson and Zach Collins.
No.
That's the best you're gonna get for him.
I don't know if that's
now.
the best you're gonna get for him. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. There's a sucker born every day where you can get somebody halfway decent for Jordan Poole.
The suckers are already gone. Washington's out of the picture. The suckers are gone.
Washington. There's more suckers than Washington.
Look, where else? Where else? Who are the other suckers? Where else?
I don't know, man. They might be the only one, BC. Look, this kid played a key role in the finals run, helped them win a series. And I think it was game 4 with his 3-point shooting barrage and a half-court make in the first half.
What have you done for me lately?
Was crucial in their championship.
That was lately.
We just had a whole year of it.
We were talking about the Lakers series. We were talking about the Lakers series.
He said the finals run. He said the finals run. Oh my
gosh.
Did Jordan Poole not miss a shot to win the game in the Lakers series?
Let's say this then. What have you done? What have you done for me? Okay, you want to say what have you done for me lately? What has Klay done for me lately other than him and Steph combining for like 14 of 60 something from 3 in those last 3 games of the Lakers? What has Klay done for me lately than be a liability on defense and making the most of his career in the regular season and not be able to hit a damn shot in the playoffs? What has he done for me lately then? Explain that to me. Core guy, this is about 34 coming off an ACL and an Achilles injury. That's getting worse and worse throughout his damn career. That's way worse than defense. Shooting doesn't show up in the damn playoffs. What else is he gonna do for you other than trade him right now?
Answer. I got you. Nobody's saying I never said Klay Thompson didn't have a bad series. He didn't play well. Okay? But if you're going to ask me, I'm the Warriors, what am I going to do here? I have a situation. I've been very clear. The issue, from my perspective, the issue is a core issue between Draymond and Jordan Poole. I have to eradicate that issue. So I'm not even thinking about Klay Thompson right now. I'm thinking about, I got to fix this issue. The issue is not going to be resolved by these two guys talking it out. I don't believe that. To find a solution, the solution is you take Jordan Poole, you trade him, and you get the best that you can get. That's how I solve the issue. And you trust Klay, you trust Klay, you trust Steph, you trust Draymond, Wiggins coming, you trust all those guys.
This isn't 2017 anymore, man. What do you mean trust Klay? This isn't 27. What are you gonna trust him to do? Go 3 for 19 again? Like, come on, man. It's not 2017 anymore.
It's gonna be 5 years since 2019.
Okay.
5 years.
I trust Klay Thompson more than Jordan Poole.
Well, they're both horrible this postseason, and one is 23, the other's 33. Which would I rather have long term?
I'll take the
probably 23.
It's not long term. Steph Curry's 35. You only have a short amount of time to win this championship.
Yeah, and you think Klay is the guy you should keep next to him?
Yes, 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
I'm sorry. I hate to be the guy, Brandon, but I think we've seen the best of Klay Thompson.
What are the Warriors draft capital right now looking like?
Well, their first round pick next year is going to the Celtics, so
that's tough. Okay. I was gonna say right now, if you're gonna trade Klay, it's most likely package Klay with Moses Moody, or Kuminga, depending on which one, because I think that again, trading Jordan Poole on the lowest of the low of his actual value is the worst thing you can do. If you wanted to trade him, you should wait until next season. If you're gonna trade, I think right now with Jordan with Steph, you have another like 3 years with him being able to play somewhere close to this level. His game can translate pretty well into older ages, so I think you have another 2 to 3 years of him being around where he is now. So you have a little bit of time. And again, I'm pretty sure another year of Klay is going to make his Achilles look like damn freaking lean meat. So at this point, It really is. It really is. Hey, yo, we've won all we can with Steph. There's no clear way to make this team even better than it is right now, other than trading Clay. Would you want to trade your future while trying to win now and not actually win a damn thing because the West is only getting harder? Or would you rather trade the guy that is getting older, constantly is also injury prone, and sucked in the playoffs along with Poole, and he's the guy that has the experience. He's the guy you trust, and he sucked worse than Poole in that Lakers series, to be honest.
What about Jordan Poole for Buddy Hield?
No. Klay Thompson for Buddy Hield.
No.
Look, the point is, if Klay Thompson's
You're
getting
not fixing
worse
the issue. You're going to
and
have the
Poole
same
is getting
problem.
better, there's still a lot of upside for Poole here. I mean, his ability to drive while he carries a lot, there's a clear ability to create off the dribble with that three-point shooting gravity. And at the end of the day, he is more essential and more valuable to the Warriors' success because they need a backup point guard, not another high-level spot-up shooter, which Klay, one of the greatest three-point
You're literally just trading Jordan Poole for Klay Thompson light. Klay Thompson light in Buddy Hield. That's it.
Yeah, I thought about it. Yeah.
I think
that's why I said it. That's why I said
Why are you compounding on the already big issue
compounding
here?
Nothing. I'm fixing a core issue in the psyche of the team. That's what I'm doing here.
Well, Draymond Green is kind of the one who created all of this.
No.
I think it's a lot more likely than people think Klay does get traded because no one.
Plus, every single Warrior you heard talk about it in Joe Lacob and Steve Kerr on Draymond's podcast, they've made it sure that they've said it before that A, we want to run it back, and A, it's about some of the young guys actually buying into this.
Listen.
That's what it is. Not some we need to trade these guys. Steph, I'm pretty sure there was a report coming out that Steph even said he want to run this shit back. Yeah. It's obvious what these guys want. I don't know.
But wait. You're conflating something. I'm saying what I would do if I were the Warriors. If you ask me what I think the Warriors are going to do, they're probably going to run it back with the same.
If you were doing that and you were the Warriors, that team is not winning another damn thing.
Due to the tax bill, it's going to be so astronomical. With them being a repeat offender, one of them is going to unfortunately have to get traded. Poole, Klay, or Dre not being brought back. And Draymond is the most important of those three people. He's also probably the biggest problem creator too. And I just don't see the value in Klay over those two guys personally.
Very good.
Bingo.
I do.
So real quick, I want to play the Tom Thibodeau audio for you guys. It's it's AI.
Over the internet, it's hard to see what we can do about it. What do you want me to do now? I need you to get on the phone with others and see how high they are. There's really not much more to do right now. No calls that came in since the news went online.
The thing about it's not as raspy as Tom Thibodeau's voice, so you can tell, but still it's hilarious.
Could you hear it at all?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely? Yeah, because I can barely hear it.
It's not as raspy as Tom Thibodeau's voice is normally, so you could have pinpointed the difference, but it's still funny.
There's nothing more we can do right now.
Yeah, you got to trade him.
And also, shout out to all of you guys in the chat. If you haven't already, like up the stream. We got one comment from Mateo about 15 minutes ago. What is Julius Randle's trade value? I think it's 2 second-round picks.
That's so crazy. Because there are some idiots that can sell themselves in the 25 points per game in the regular season, and maybe he just didn't fit well in the next scheme in the playoffs type shit.
Yeah.
There are some people that are willing to sell themselves, especially since he's still relatively young. He's relatively young.
We did talk about earlier that you could package him with maybe a first round or 2 first rounders to get a Zach LaVine.
It's gonna take more than 2 first rounders if I'm Chicago. You got to give me 3 or more.
You know what? Now you're just being greedy.
One of which has to be unprotected. You can't be giving me like the Detroit Pistons top 4 team protected. It disintegrates in the 2 seconds in 2 years type of deal. It has to.
Yeah, exactly. I'm leaving here with something. I'm gonna leave here with something.
All right.
And it's gonna be an unprotected first round pick and 2 more. Like you're not gonna tell me here you need somebody that you're not gonna tell me here right now. The thirsty ones right now would have been the Knicks, not the Bulls. The Bulls can find other trade partners for Zach LaVine because Zach LaVine is valuable. Julius Randle isn't. So
nobody's arguing that.
So it's not about being greedy. It's about how bad you want the Zach LaVine, huh? How bad you want him?
Another star we didn't talk about. Paul George has had his value gauged on the market. No one thinks about him being traded, but can we see the Clippers potentially move Paul George here in draft night?
That's not going to happen.
If you trade Paul George, that means you're. God damn it!
Wait, who is that? Who is that? Was that? I was trying to make a joke. I was gonna like, is that Jerry West?
Oh, that's crazy.
It's not. Paul George is
If you
not
trade
going
Paul
to-
George, you have to. If you trade Paul George, I'm not gonna lie, you're most likely not getting him for any win now players. So if you trade Paul George, you might as well trade Kawhi too.
Yeah, it's not happening. That's a moot point. I saw that report. I tweeted it. It's not happening.
Paul George or Jaylen Brown? Who says no?
That's so insane. That's so
You need an
insane.
adorable young star, and Paul George
How many more injury-prone players do you want on Boston? Oh my god.
on Boston. Well, Tatum's not. Tatum's durable. Brown's durable. You put Brown in that environment with the Clippers, where both he and Kawhi aren't the best playmakers, but ideally, you want a star that's going to be there in the regular season for 70 games, and you know Paul George ain't giving you more than 55,
It's
58.
not happening.
I'm saying how many more
It's
injury
the
points?
Clippers,
Now
man.
you have. Okay, I'm saying.
I'm not
I'm
a
saying.
Clippers fan. Don't do that. I'm not a
We
Clippers
sure
I'm saying.
about that.
I'm saying. I'm
I
saying
get
on
it,
Boston.
Kawhi
I'm saying on
Leonard.
Boston right now.
Yeah. Okay.
You want Paul George, who's gonna net you maybe at most 50 games. Then you want Kristaps Porzingis that at any moment is gonna net you 40 to 50 games. Brogdon already's elbows falling off the damn bone. What are you trying to do to that? Robert Williams barely is gonna net you 50 to 60 games. What? Horford's 38. What are you trying to do to that team? You know what? Maybe they need to make that move. Actually, fuck Boston. Yes, trade for Paul George, please. I want to see us.
Pistons got fresh legs.
I want to see us put him in the dirt all over again. Yes, trade for Paul George. Please go do that.
Guys, wait. Did you guys not see Brandon Miller's quote that his GOAT is not MJ?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, it was funny to me.
Paul George is the greatest of all time.
It was funny to me at first, but when you look at it like in the new generation that's come up, especially for wings like Brandon Miller and guys like
you
Anthony
don't
Edwards.
say that. No.
He's the prototype. He's literally the prototype.
Paul George is his favorite player, and he inspired him to play basketball. You do not say Paul George is the greatest of all time. No disrespect. No.
I know it's a little bit of a. I know. I'm not saying it's not a stretch, and he's in the dumb for saying that crazy thing. But at the end of the screw you. But at the end of the day, I do think that it's one of those situations where Paul George is really the prototype wing of this generation. He's almost, if he was able to stay healthy, he's almost a perfect wing for anybody that would want. And that's what you'd aspire to be as Brandon Miller in this sense as your peak.
Right.
So I can understand why he would see him that way.
All right, let's stop talking about this issue because it's not going to happen anyway.
Yeah, Paul George is probably not going anywhere unless
By the way,
up on this team.
Brandon Miller saying that is going to make Michael Jordan take him with the second overall pick. And it's not that Miller is a unworthy prospect. In many classes, he is a worthy second overall pick. In many classes, Scoot Henderson is the number one pick. And Michael Jordan, after years of running the worst NBA team, finally has one last decision to screw up and has the second overall pick to send the Hornets potentially back into playoff glory. We'll say that.
Yeah.
If they don't take Scoot Henderson tonight, they're going to regret it. Scoot is exactly what LaMelo Ball isn't. And while I think Brandon Miller is a great player,
John,
he's going to be a really safe player, a nice floor. He is not on level of Scoot Henderson. And what the Hornets need is a rim pressure guard who can finish, can create a mid-range, and then is developing the three-point shot. Scoot's going to be a top 12 player in the league. I'm confident in it.
John,
and if you pass on him, you're going to look back saying, if we can have this decision again, what would we – if we could just have this one more time.
I just have one question for you.
John,
hold on. Wait. I just got one question for him. Okay. John, were you not the man a couple of months ago when I think March Madness had ended, and I was saying that Brandon Miller should not be the second overall pick because I didn't like what I saw when he was facing ranked competition? And you said to me, Brandon, I forget exactly how you worded it, but you're like, Brandon, you're wrong. Brandon Miller should be the second overall pick because Scoot Henderson is not as good as Brandon Miller. Were you not that guy?
That's
so crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't want to
That's
remember
so
it now.
crazy.
He
That's so
pleads
crazy.
the fifth. He's got amnesia now. I swear to God.
John, I'm telling you.
I said that.
John, right?
I said that, right? First and foremost, after the season ended, I watched more of these players play, especially once the NBA season ended. I got to watch more Scoot Henderson and Brandon Miller. And when you watch more of a player and you get more information, you're probably not going to have the same exact perspective you did 3 months before. And on top of that, that was 2 months before the lottery results, where we didn't know who would have the second overall pick. Part of why Scoot is better for the Hornets is because he fits better off of LaMelo's skill set. So maybe I did say that, but that was 4 months ago. So
also, a lot of things have been coming out. I'll talk about, but this fits perfectly with the Charlotte Hornets draft history because you can go all the way back to 2004. Second pick, Emeka Okafor. Fifth pick, Raymond Felton. Eighth pick, Brandon Wright. DJ Augustine at 9. Jalen Henderson at 12. Kemba was one they hit on. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist at 2. Cody Zeller at 4. Noah Vonleh at 9. Frank Kaminsky at 9. Then you go all the way up. They pick Malik Monk. That's when they traded him. You draft Shea and then trade him on draft night. You draft Shea and then trade him on draft night. PJ Washington is one guy you keep. LaMelo you hit on. You draft Booknight and he hasn't gotten a significant minute since he's been on this freaking team.
It feels
and then
like
you trade Jalen Duren. And then you trade Jalen Duren on draft night. This shit is so stupid every single time.
I know it's a different regime, but weren't the
every regime is sucked?
No. Hold on, wait. I think it was. Wasn't this the same team, the Hornets, that traded the draft rights of Kobe Bryant as well?
Huh?
Didn't they trade Kobe Bryant's draft rights to the Lakers?
Yeah, but that was like 96. So.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Different regime, but they're still
they always suck, bro. And in this situation right now, you've seen all the reports come out. And what's the thing that hit me the most? Because I know Brandon Miller, people is wondering if his shot can translate to the NBA, especially with the low release point. The crazy thing is, they're harping on Scoot Henderson shooting 32% from 3 in the G League when they realize he's shooting from NBA range. Brandon Miller from NBA range in college shot 33%.
Is that an actual fact?
Yes. Really? From NBA range was 33%. The Scoot's 32%. The shooting, the main thing with Brandon Miller that people have been putting over him for Scoot is not even that big of a freaking gap in the first place. I don't know what the hell they're thinking.
It is Jabari Smith versus Paolo Banchero. In the case that Paolo was not as good of a prospect as Scoot is now, but Jabari is a slightly better prospect. Or sorry, let me repeat myself the right way. Brandon Miller is a better prospect than Bari, but Scoot is a better prospect than Paolo. And I think that's an amazing point. I didn't even know that. I'm about to look into that. If Miller's shot is mostly 3-point reliant because he's got a lower release, which is more contestable in the mid-range area, I don't think he's going to be an elite scorer. I think he's going to be like a 23-point per game guy, which is really good. But there's a couple of concerns with him getting to the rim and putting pressure on it. And his goat's Paul George, which is a red flag. That's kind of the ideal wing today that every player looks up to. But
but you know where Paul George's release point is? You know where Paul George's release point is?
That John's up here.
Exactly.
It's up here.
You know what's crazy? You know Michael Jordan's going to draft him because this man is talking about, I'm not impressed by MJ. I saw him airball a free throw. You know MJ wants that shit on his team. I'm so mad, bro.
Okay.
Well
I'm not even a Charlotte fan. I just hate stupidity. Yeah. And this is big. This is just big brain stupidity at this point.
I could also see MJ not taking him because he's disrespecting him too, though.
MJ's the type of guy that loves this shit.
Yeah.
MJ's the type of guy to draft him so he can have him in practice, so he can humiliate him multiple times type shit.
He'd probably do that too.
Exactly.
Calling MJ old was pretty clever because they make more money by doing that, a couple more million. So that's a good decision. Now, do you guys want to rank some point guards? Because Scoot Henderson Rende is going to be top 3 on this list.
He's going to be top 3?
And Kobe Buffkin will be on here too, by the way.
Okay.
2 point guards in this draft class will be.
Okay. All right.
And hot take, Romaine, I am probably the biggest Kobe Buffkin stan in the world. He is going to be a top 7, top 8 player from this draft class. No two ways about it. He has the perfect skill set for a guard in the league, and he is an incredible finisher with awesome touch. He's like a Kyrie Irving, but just
Kai
didn't make the NCAA tournament, unlike Kyrie. Okay, Romaine, do you want to rank?
Didn't Kyrie only play like 12 games in college?
Yeah, his best games were in the NCAA tournament. Brandon, you want to play? Sorry, Romaine,
Sure, why not? I'll let me do this and I'll head out. Sure.
Cool. What about Jayson Wallace? I think Jayson Wallace is going to be a good NBA player, but I do worry a little bit. He shot poorly the second half of the year, Kentucky, and I compare him to Drew Holiday, but he's going to have to keep getting better. And with Davion Mitchell, we saw he didn't get better this year, and that gives me a slight cause for concern with Jayson, but I would still have him in the top 8. He should go top 8, and I think the Wizards should take him with the 8th overall pick. Just there's limited upside because
limited upside is not what the Wizards need. Because guess what? You're gonna do the same thing with Johnny Davis all over again.
What a terrible pick. What a terrible pick. Okay. Starting point guard rankings for the 2023-24 season coming up. We'll start at number 1 and we'll work our way down. Number 1. Okay, but before we do that, do you guys have Luka and James Harden as point guards?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I had Luke as a small forward a year ago, and I got literally destroyed on Twitter for it. And I was like, guys, he gets guarded by small forwards. He guards small forwards. He's 6'8". I get
Steph
it.
gets guarded by Jared Vanderbilt. You just throw the best defenders at the guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Because
He's a forward that runs point, kind of like LeBron.
he's a point forward. Yeah.
Even when you talk about the people that guard him, sometimes you just run your best defender against those guys, and big wings are just normally the best defenders on the guys.
And then
so
they
that's
hide
what
him
you
on
do.
defense. That's why he's not guarding point guards.
Yeah,
I do count him as a point guard.
Yeah,
So number one is
Stephen
Stephen Curry.
No objections. He had one of the best playoff runs we've seen in recent years a year ago. And this year he had 50 points in a game 7. He's quite clearly the highest ceiling raiser in this group. And he's the only point guard to win a championship as the number one. Jamal Murray just has, of course, but Steph Curry not only has a case of being a top 10 player of all time, he is arguably the best player at the position ever, still in his prime, which is remarkable at 35.
Yeah.
Number 2, if we're including Luka, would clearly be him. While Steph is the highest ceiling raiser, I think Luka is the highest floor raiser, where, in most years he would make you an automatic playoff team. Not this year, unfortunately, but he is a one-man offense. To be honest, though, him being a one-man offense is to his own detriment because he is less effective when he is without the ball in his hands. Nothing wrong with that, but it's quite a cause for concern that we don't know if he can adapt.
I think that's why the best guy for him on that roster as a second scorer is Kyrie, because Kyrie's so damn efficient and so good as a scorer at that guard spot that it's not a situation where it's like, damn, why don't you have the ball in Luka's hands? It's like Kyrie's pretty good at this shit too. So if somebody's gonna have the ball, that's not Luka. It's maybe Kyrie's bet. Maybe Kyrie is the guy.
But that duo will never work. But yes, Luka Doncic is the second best.
That's some
at 3.
hater stuff. Hater.
It's not hated. It's not gonna freaking work.
If you build a quality roster of 3-and-D wings, that would work.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's see what they can do.
You're a hater too? What do we
Not
do?
really. I don't think 3. I think they need 1 3-and-D wing, but
Nobody's a hater, John.
I think the thing they need the most is a big that can protect the rim and be a lob threat.
All right, but number 3 is
like Jackson Hayes.
Okay, let's just keep the ranking.
number 3.
Dame.
Jay. Oh, you got Dame.
What the hell?
Wait, Jay, who?
Dame.
Jay who?
I heard shit. Damn.
Oh, Shay?
He said Shay.
Hey.
Dame just came off the best season of his career. You got Shay?
You just said
Shay?
Damian Lillard was the first team All-NBA player a couple months ago.
Yeah, I did.
This is crazy.
Shay,
I got Dame. I got Dame at 3.
Woo! Winning means nothing to John Tortorelli, I guess.
because Dame has won a lot the last 2 years.
Well, he was injured.
Well, Shea is a pretty good playoff player too. We've seen it twice now.
I love Shea, but it's getting to the point where people are just putting him in so many different conversations right now that he's gonna get to the point where I'm just not gonna like some of the rankings anymore. Cause like he's really good, but like bro hasn't won a damn thing, bro. Like let's okay.
Most people expected the Thunder to be a bottom 3 team this season.
I understand that, John.
One game away from they're literally just one. Actually, it's 2 games away.
Hey, John. Let me ask you something. Why did they lose that game?
Yeah, Shea.
Let's stop bringing up the play-in like it's a successful. Like you just said, they were a play-in.
It shouldn't even exist.
Actually squat to me, okay? That
means I get it. Dame is one of the best pull-up shooters, one of the best
scorers, shot creators.
Steph, if in a world where Steph Curry does not exist, he is
Dame is the greatest shooter of all time.
But Shea is a wing at the point guard position that just averaged 31 points per game and single-handedly carried an Oklahoma City offense with no spacing really at all. No Chet Holmgren.
Hey, respect Josh Giddey.
A lot of people love Josh Giddey. He can't shoot for shit. Let's just be honest. And you look at that roster outside of Isaiah Joe and
Shea can't shoot for shit outside of 20 feet
really
anyway.
Isn't much spacing. But yet Shea, because of how great an inside scorer he is, has just I think a higher floor than most guards in this group because he can get ugly. His ability to finish around the rim. While the percentages don't back
we
it
saw
up.
what that floor looks like, John. It's not a high floor.
Well, let's be fair now. He's carrying a team that really had no business being in the playing tournament to a very high note. what he can do around the rim with his improved mid-range game. I know he's not a great three-point shooter, only took 2.5 attempts per game, but all of the other things inside the arc makes him an unstoppable player. Like, what is the gap between Luka and Shea? Luka, better playmaker, but Shea, a better defender. I think Shea's more malleable to play off the ball, and given how good he's
in the
been
Western Conference Finals,
given how good Shea was as a number 2 and a number 3 with the Clippers as a rookie, and then the Thunder as a sophomore, I am all in on his game translating to the next stage as a complimentary or primary guard.
People are saying give me Shea over Dame. If you're building a team now, yes, I'm taking Shea over Dame because Shea's 25.
If Shea dominates next postseason, you will not be surprised because he has done it as a secondary compliment, and he has gotten so much better in each of the last 3 years. He also was injured in 2021 and in 2022, and now in 2023, his first fully healthy year in Oklahoma City. Well, actually, his second.
We're only at 3 right now, bro. Let's keep going with the rankings. We're only
at where I am Shea booked in my list.
11 free throw attempts, 90% from the foul line. If his 3-point shot develops, we're talking about him the same way we're talking about Luka.
Okay. Disagree. Listen, it's only one spot, John. It's 3 and 4, bro. It's only 3 and 4. It's not like we have him at 9.
I don't have 4.
Okay, you're drunk, but still, come on.
I'm not drunk. I was gonna say,
but it's only 3 and 4.
This is one thing that I'll always usually take a guy who can shoot the lights out over a guy who can't. So Damian Lillard, I have ranked higher than him.
Okay, then who do you have? Who do you have? Okay. Then you say you rather take a guy shoot the lights out. Then I'm gonna be. Who do you have a 4? Who do you have a 4?
I have a guy who I've been really high on. I already know I'm gonna get hate for it. I have Jamal Murray at 4.
I knew that was coming. Why are we? Listen, I love Jamal, but why do we keep doing this with guys that are number 2s? Guys that are number 2s, bro.
He's not the best Kentucky guard. He's the 3rd best Kentucky guard, maybe not the 1st best.
Come on, why are we doing this with guys that are number 2s, bro? I get it. He's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, well, you asked a question, so I'm trying to explain. I get he's a number 2, right? I fully understand that. But what I guess I'm going off of is I do believe Jamal Murray can be a 1. That's really where my belief comes from, is that I do truly do. I think his skill set is 4. I think Jamal Murray is easily a 27, 28 point per game scorer. He can average 8.5 assists a game. He just did a 50-49er in the Western Conference Finals. I do think this guy has.
Jokic is his teammate.
I get it. But he's still okay. You want Nikola Jokic? All right. Where was the run with Nikola Jokic when Jamal Murray wasn't there then? Like, I said this to John. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world.
There's no way.
Jokic, listen to the words. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. He is the best player on the Denver Nuggets. But what makes the Nuggets special is the duo of Jamal and Nikola Jokic.
Yes, he's one of the best number 2s in the game. But guess what? You know what a team with Jamal as their number 1 is doing? Picking in the lottery. Picking in the damn lottery.
You know what, Brent? Jamal Murray has developed into a complete guard, an elite shot maker, a guy that at his worst is still able to impact the game as a passer. My God. That being said, we haven't seen him in that type of environment as number 1. But when he was out, it wasn't that the Nuggets were missing Jamal Murray. It was that the Nuggets were missing Jamal Murray, and he was being replaced by
Monte Morris,
Bryn Forbes, Austin Rivers, and Monte Morris.
And so Facu
Campazzo. So he can make it back to the league. We'll see. He was starting playoff games for a Nugget team that went to the second round of the playoffs 2 years ago. So you went from Jamal Murray to
the damn Blazers.
Monte, Facu, Rivers, Bryn Forbes. You can't even see him. So, like, yes, he changed the entire game for the Nuggets, but you got to recognize how easy it is to play off Nikola Jokic too.
Also, who did they lose to? You lost to the eventual champions, bro. Like, come on.
And Romain, to that point, they took that eventual champ to 3 straight games down the wire in 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. On their home floor, they almost beat the Warriors in both games. That series could have went to 6. And if you put in let's say you put in a top 15, say you put in Tyrese Halliburton, I think the Nuggets could make that series easily 7 games. And in this playoff run, you put in a lot of different guards. while Jamal Murray is a fantastic player and his return from the ACL was incredible, I think the case against him is just you plug in 17 different point guards and Nikola Jokic could win a championship because of how deep the position is. It's not a shot at Jamal. It's just, hey, look, you're playing off the
You put Jalen Brunson in that position, he's doing what Jamal just did.
Think Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan could dominate with Patty Mills dropping 38 points per game, or Manu, or Tony Parker. It's a similar story with Jokic where, hey, look, Jamal's an incredible player.
Manu and Tony are Hall of Famers, my guy.
Well, yeah, I'm just pointing out the fact a Patty Mills can come in and with Tony,
I get it.
Tim drop 30 and they can still thrive in the playoffs, even when Manu's handing his late ages. So
but I think we can also agree that Jamal Murray is not a Patty Mills. Like Jamal Murray is also special. Like that's why I think this.
We're not saying he's special, but we're just saying that.
So then this is where we differ, right? Is that I nobody has argued that Nikola Jokic makes the game a lot easier to play with. I totally agree with that. When Romain asked me how do you have, I said my belief is Jamal Murray can also be a one. I do truly believe that.
But what has he done that showed
from? I think he's that special. I do truly do believe.
Okay, I understand that, but you have to have something to back up some of those beliefs. And what has Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray's never been in a position to be a one in the first place.
I get it. I can't prove to you because Nikola Jokic has been his teammate the entire time. But what I can show to you is what he's doing also individually. And I understand it's off of Nikola Jokic. That's all I can point to. That's it. Like. It's the same thing with, I know it's not on the same level as a Jaylen Brown, but people believe that Jaylen Brown could have been a number one, right? You believe that's another team prove to it because obviously if you ask me to prove it, how can I prove that when you know that I can't because there's no evidence. A belief is something that can be proven but hasn't been.
There's the counter argument. Romain, we talk about quarterbacks on our channel, we always rank them, right? And there's sometimes really great quarterbacks that, hey, look, we kind of have a clear idea. I'm blanking on a name here. Jalen Hurts is not better than Patrick Mahomes. He may play better in the Super Bowl. He's got a lot more supporting talent and a better offensive line inherently.
That's my argument.
So we're not going to say, oh, I believe Jalen Hurts, he's going to hit that stage. He hasn't shown it to me yet where he can play and he can outplay Mahomes, but I just know based off one, and that's a bad example. It truly is because.
So wait, John, actually, no, wait, I got you. You can have a good example. You can have a good example. Where do you have Jalen Hurts ranked in the top 10 in the quarterbacks in the league right now?
Like seven or eight.
Is he so? And then, can he be on the level of a Josh Allen then?
Yes, he can. I think
that's what I'm saying.
So tier below.
Yeah.
This is what I want to actually get at. To me, that was an awful.
Oh yeah, we just wanted a quick list, bro. We're only at 4, and it's been 15 minutes.
You think Jamal Murray is special, right? He became the highest player when you look at the best playoff performers relative to the regular season, he averages 16 points per game in the regular season, 25 in the playoffs. His efficiency, shot versatility, and confidence, he breathes fire. He's a special number 2. And I think that is what is kind of disguising the fact he's not built to be number 1 because he's not an elite playmaker. In the finals, first player to ever drop 10 assists in 4 straight games. But that was because the Heat were straight up double-teaming Jamal and leaving Nikola Jokic open on pick and pop threes. They were making him be a decision maker, and he was making the right read. A good decision maker.
Why?
But I don't think.
Why? Because why were they doing that? Why were they selling out Jamal Murray? Because the way to beat the Nuggets is not to stop Jokic because he's unstoppable. And I said that best player in the world. The way to stop the Nuggets is you have to stop Jamal Murray. That's what makes the duo so special. Thank you. That's what but again, we're gonna go round and round circle. I believe what I believe. You guys believe what you believe. Let's move on to number 5.
On a side note, I had Dame at 4, and I have John Moran at 5.
Also, pick a side meme. I don't know who that is. I never said Shea can't be a number 1, so I don't know where he got that from.
Yeah, I got side meme. Santos, all-time pick a side legend. I'm happy to see Santos in the chat.
I never said that.
Shout out Dame. Shout out Darren. We got AJ before. We got a lot of people in here, so I appreciate you guys.
I got Dame. I got Shea at 4 and Ja at 5, but I have Dame at 3. So same order, just Dame and Shea flipped.
Yeah, I have Ja at 5.
I think the case for Morant, unlike a Jamal, is that he's already proven himself as number 1 to also be an elite playoff performer. This postseason, he got hurt, still dropped 6 threes it was in their game 3 loss, versus the Lakers, where he's just reining it in. Ja inherently isn't the most malleable player to play alongside, but he is one of the best slashers. And because of how good he's gains the rim, similar to Shea, he's an opponent's, outside of Anthony Davis's worst nightmare. And he can open up so many opportunities for shooters for driving kicks. It's unfortunate the Grizzlies don't know how to build around him. And also, he does some things off the court too, which are really stupid. That kind of is unfortunate.
And not just Anthony Davis. Put Bam on that boy and watch what he does. Exactly.
I do want to mention real quick that I should have said this from the beginning. That 4 to 7 for me are kind of in this like similar tier for me. So I mean, starting with Jamal, Ja, and then my number, and then let's go to number 6. I know this is gonna get
number 6.
My list was gonna get so much.
Number 6 is kind of a toss-up for me because it's between Jamal, De'Aaron, and Jalen Brunson, between those spots right there.
What happened to Trae Young?
Trae Young, it's the fact that all these guys, Trae Young produces more offensively than a lot of those guys, but just the negative defensively that he is just so fucking.
Every point guard's negative. What point guards are negatives? Drew Holiday? Do you have Drew Holiday in your top 10 because he's an awesome defender?
Hell no.
Is Marcus Smart in your top 14?
No, but those guys don't produce offensively close to anything these guys can.
But
yeah,
Trae
is like really bad. Like he's like probably one of the worst defenders in the league.
But does that matter if your point guard's a terrible defender?
It really does matter. I mean, that's what you tell me. Why
we've seen what terrible point of attack defense does to the Hawks, does to teams like the Utah Jazz all the damn time. He's literally the crux of that terrible point of attack defense.
But it wasn't just that the Jazz had no point of attack guard. Both their guards weren't defending. They were both turnstiles. Trae Young at that position, if he's going to single-handedly make you a top 10 offense, which this year he didn't, the personnel is not good around him. And you can put around him the Clint Capellas, the quality, the wing defenders that will be carried by him offensively. And if they're going to support him defensively, if there's any position you can get away with having a bad defender, it is the point guard spot. And I don't think that should totally dismerit Trae Young when Jamal Murray was not good this postseason defensively. He was simply the worst Nuggets defender at all times. So I'm lower on Trae Young than most people, but I didn't think people were this low. He's out to the top 7.
All right, then I'll slip him into the spot that Jalen Brunson should be in, then slip Jalen Brunson down a little bit. I think I would still have Jamal De'Aaron. I would still have Jamal De'Aaron over him though.
So Roman, your 6 is Jamal or De'Aaron? Jamal. Okay,
over Trae Young?
Huh?
Jamal over Trae Young.
Yeah. I'd take a high-level number 2 that can win consistently over a number 1 that really hasn't done much outside of one.
Jamal Murray isn't a turnover machine, also like a Trae Young.
Right. Well,
I mean, every high-level guard that has that type of ball response.
Chris Paul.
Huh? I'm talking about guards. Okay, that's one point guard. That's a top 5. That's a top 3 guard talent ever.
Well,
like it's very different than when you pick guys that are the complete top. Right now, I would. My view of it right now, John, is I'd rather take a number 2 that can play at that high level and help you win consistently, because I think Trae Young is number 2 than number 1. You're not going to win with him as a number 1.
That's fine.
And I'd take a high level number 2 that shows you can win consistently over a number 1 that shows that they can't win.
Yeah. So wait, John, do you want to give your number 6 or because mine's going to be controversial?
Because Trae has made the playoffs, but all he's made the playoffs and done is get waxed by the Heat, get gifted by Philadelphia that conference finals berth, and then get waxed again by the Celtics outside of one game.
To be fair to Trae, you saw what he did to the Celtics. That was awesome.
Okay, but the Celtics are also, you saw what we did to the Celtics. The Celtics don't move me.
I understand, but
plus every single elite guard talent was waxing the Celtics ever since the finals.
Trae Young has dismantled a Joel Embiid-led team. He's nearly taken the Celtics.
It's not that hard to do that.
Like the Celtics, they've been to the finals. There were 2 games. You may not be high in the Celtics. They're 2 games away from winning a championship, and Trae Young nearly took them to 7 games in the first round. And again, this is not coming from a Trae Young defender. I'm not a fan of his game.
That wasn't the
but
same
I have
team,
to appreciate
though.
what he has still accomplished.
I mean, that's not the same team, though. That was 2 games. The Celtics team he beat was the Celtics team that...
You're right. It wasn't the same team.
That was
better because Derek White got
No,
better.
they were not better.
They were not better.
They were not better. You will not convince me that Celtics team was better than 2022. You will not convince me of that.
Okay.
At all.
Robert Williams was better. But generally speaking, that was a very good team I had still.
Yes, I'll give you that. He's able to take... But taking team to 6 games in the first round isn't going to move me versus a guy that just won a chip as an elite number 2 that's putting up similar numbers as Trae Young as a number 1.
And playing better defense and not turning the ball over at an insanely high rate.
Okay, well, the turnover stuff. If Jamal Murray
he's adding that other
but
stuff.
But it's a compounding thing, John. If you're playing one of the worst defenders in the entire league and you're turning the ball over at an insanely high rate, that's not. I don't like that.
He's not. The Hawks have been one of the most turnover-free teams in the league the last couple of years.
What about him individually? Isn't he not top 5 in turnovers this year?
Yeah, but if my point guard's going to have all the turnovers and my team is going to
since he's the only one handling, especially since he's the only one handling the ball, I agree with John here. He's the only one handling the ball.
Is John Morant up there? Is Jalen Brunson up there?
The league average for turnovers per game is about 14.5. The Hawks average less than 13 because that's third best in the league. Trae Young runs the offense, and given he has 70 touches a game and he is the offense, 4 turnovers in the grand scheme of things is not much at all. It's pretty good. Really damn good. In fact, a lot of our turnovers come with Trae's off the floor. So I actually think in some ways you could use that as a positive. Trae Young's heliocentric play limits turnovers, while the stat sheet may say, oh, he's a big turnover guy. He's really not in the grand view. Truly not.
I'm not gonna get mad at somebody that you're getting 3 or close to 4 turnovers a game when you have the ball for 90% of the game. It's the same way that Houston Rockets were still so successful with James Harden averaging 4 or close to 5 turnovers a game. It's simply because he's the only one handling the ball. And more times than not, if he's the only one handling the ball, he's only getting 4 or 5 turnovers, but he's still he's producing nearly like 60 to 70 points per game. I'm okay with that.
The only thing you can have against Trae is that he's not malleable enough to play off the ball. He needs it in his hands to be effective. And he's a selfish decision maker. It's not the turnovers and defense. It's the decision making and his play style that
I'm gonna still hold the defense. I'm still hold the defense against him because unlike the other guys, they may not like. No, unlike the other guys on the list that you may seem like bad defenders like Jamal, at least have the body that when they show some effort, they can actually be good.
Like it's not like
Trae, even when Trae hasn't given me any type of effort, and even when he does, he literally just can't. He just doesn't have the body to actually play any type of defense in the NBA. Like he literally just can't.
I'm not gonna deny it. At number 7, I've got Jalen Brunson. The guy is so good. Donovan Mitchell was first team All-NBA, or second team. It was second team, right? Incredible accomplishment. He whooped him 2 times straight in the playoffs. Clearly the better player. As a playmaker, is more methodical than most guys. And I think his playoff performances have stamped. He's just going to keep getting better every year. At 26 years old, his contract has become one of the best in the NBA. He's got a player option at the end of it. Man, the Knicks got themselves a good one.
Yeah. I'll pick Jalen Brunson over De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron's
that's a tough one, right?
Yeah, it's a tough one for me because De'Aaron right now, the one crux in his game is the consistent 3-point jumper. If he's able to put that, he jumps up a lot of spots in that point guard ranking because there's literally nothing you can do with him on offense if he's hitting the 3 out of 38% clip. But at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson's just proven so many times in the playoffs what he can do when you rely on him. I'm not gonna say never, but I've watching that series and just watching every single person on the Knicks be absolute dog water, and the only thing keeping them above water was Jalen Brunson. He's the only one giving us problems. I'm just like, bro, can somebody get this man?
He was playing 4 and 5. They were literally giving Josh Hart the Dylan Brooks treatment, and the guy was still creating offense. How incredible is that?
Yeah, I'll give it to him over De'Aaron.
Jalen Brunson's nasty. Yeah, I didn't give my 6 though. But my 6 and 7 are kind of like interchangeable, like I'm going to say. And this is the controversial one. You guys haven't even said his name yet. I'm actually very interested to hear the reaction.
Tyrese.
No.
Who else could it be?
Number 6 is Kyrie Irving for me, and then number 7 is De'Aaron Fox. But those guys are interchangeable for me.
Oh, brother. Kyrie at 6. The guy who's done nothing in the playoffs since 2016.
Yeah.
That's the case.
Yeah. I mean,
look, a lot of the things why he hasn't done anything in the playoffs is not really a production standpoint. Is more of being in the wrong.
Where the hell was he in that round 1 series? His best game. You want to know what he did? He said, "Oh, Jayson Tatum, you want a game winner? Here, spin to the rim. Go take."
He's 6'3". Jayson Tatum 6'9", 6'10".
Trae Young's defense is set. It's such a
Kyrie's a better defender than Trae Young, dude. Kyrie's a better defender than Trae Young.
But they're both not good.
Okay, but John, the difference is Trae Young is literally a bottom 5 defender in the entire league. What, bro?
Yes,
it's not
Trae
like
Young
it's his fault.
In transition, Trae Young is the worst defender in the league.
He's barely 6 feet.
But this is very important to note. The bigger difference is my point guard being bad defensively can be covered up by the other 4 positions, which can guard 1 through 5. So I'm not going to say, oh, Kyrie's a little bit better defensively. It's why he's above Trae Young. No, because in the grand scheme of things, if you're a bad point guard defender, you're a bad point guard defender. The difference is covered.
No.
The difference is covered by all of your teammates.
Kyrie's not even the top 10 for me. Kyrie's not even in the top 10 for me right now.
Kyrie could never lead a team to the conference finals with the best player on it, and we've seen that. They went to the conference finals without him. I'm sorry, but Trae Young is a clearly better basketball player.
We're talking skill for skill.
Oh my God! No, we're not doing that argument. I'm tired of that skill. I don't care if you can be the most skilled player on the freaking planet. If we get in the gauntlet time and time again, and you do not show up, or if your problems consistently are either keeping you out of games, or every single time when you step on the damn court.
Line and sinker. I got both you guys. So wait, let's rewind the clock. 30, 40 minutes ago, weren't you guys the ones just saying that Kyrie and Luka could be dangerous? Could be.
Kyrie's a number 2. You just said Kyrie.
Luka is a top 4 player.
We're comparing him to number 1s. The only number 2.
Kyrie. If Jalen Brunson were on the Mavericks, I'd have more confidence and a better feel in them going to the conference finals.
I would rather have any one of these guards over him in Dallas.
This is what aggravates me. Because you believe Jamal Murray could be number 1, he's top 4. You have Kyrie at 6. He's done nothing as number 1. We've seen him as number 1 in multiple different phases of his career.
You saw it once.
In Cleveland before LeBron. What were they in his first
We've seen it twice. Nothing. The first year with that KD in Brooklyn, he was a number 1, 2, and they were dog water at the same time.
Okay, but that team was shit with KD.
Oh my God! What's Young's team? What's Young's team?
And that year without KD, he underwent surgery and he played 20 games that year. To be fair to him. But
recency bias. It's been 8 years.
It's been almost a decade. Brandon, the idea here is you believe Jamal Murray is special enough.
You like Kyrie. Just say that then.
I don't like Kyrie at all, actually. John can vouch for me here. I have not been a fan of Kyrie.
Hold up, Brandon. Do you have Kyrie above Damian Lillard?
No, I have Damian.
No.
You have Damian Lillard. Okay. Huh? But do you have him above Shea?
Yeah. Yes, he does. He hasn't said shit yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. You know what's crazy? Is he's been harping on defense this whole time. Shea's an elite defender too, which is crazy.
Probably one of the 3 best defenders in the
harping on defense. I was just bringing up a guy who was a bottom 5 defender in the whole league.
Right, but the defense compounds though. So of course Shea has to be at the top of the list because
if Shea can give you 30 and 7, Shea can give you 30 and 7, something Kyrie has never done in his career, while giving you elite defense. And Kyrie over here is giving you 20-something on basically the same efficiency as Trae, but when it comes to playoff time, the man is dog water. It's never giving you the production that Shea is giving you in the regular season. What the hell are we doing? Literally, every single guy we've named, me and John's name, outside of Jamal Murray, is a number 1 on their team, is a number 1, and is produced as a number 1. Kyrie, the only time he's produced anything great is as a number 2. And even then, as a number 2 that when he's not a number 2 next to freaking LeBron, he hasn't produced a damn thing.
But that's not my argument though. That wasn't my argument. I'm saying, and I did say from the beginning, you guys missed this one, that it was an interchangeable 6 and 7. With
he shouldn't even be top 10.
Why shouldn't it be top 10? Wait. How is it that you guys went from Luka and Kyrie can be dangerous to this guy's not even top 10?
Top 10 point. Because they can be dangerous because Luka's that damn good and Kyrie's. Nobody's saying Kyrie's bad. Nobody's saying Kyrie's bad.
He's in top 10, and I'm pretty sure top 10 is.
He's not bad. Putting him next to Luka would be great. But guess what? I would take any single one of these other guys next to Luka and it'd be better.
Look, I have Kyrie at number 12.
That's fine.
And a part of you want to know why? I have Garland ahead of him because he's more available. He's more.
I don't have Garland ahead of him.
That's the tiebreaker. The fact
I don't have Garland
actually play in the regular season.
That's
because those 2 guys are on the same level.
But listen, I'm just talking specifically skill for skills, and I know Romain doesn't want to hear that. I see, like I heard his breath. I closed my eyes and I literally heard his breath go. I know you don't want to hear it.
I hate
get
that.
it.
I
get
hate
it,
the
okay?
skill argument
So
much.
Since I am
I
angry,
hate it
and
so
I knew
much.
that this was going to trigger you guys. Number 7 is De'Aaron Fox that I said was interchangeable. And maybe this guys will make you a little bit more happier talking about De'Aaron Fox now. Okay, De'Aaron Fox impressed the hell out of me this year. He proved a lot of people wrong. He was a number 1. I agree with you. That's why I said it's interchangeable. I could easily take him number 6. I do believe in this kid's talent. I do believe that this guy is going to. I think he could actually get a little bit better, especially shooting the ball from the 3-point line. His mid-range looked unstoppable against Golden State, which was, I think, a big shocker.
Honestly,
me,
I think he had a good shot of putting him down if he didn't hurt his hand. He had
That's
a
what I'm
good shot
saying.
of putting him down.
Especially in the game-winning shot where it looked like the hand injury hampered him and he didn't feel comfortable taking that contested of a shot.
Yeah, because he was giving them boys hell them first 6 games.
It was a sight to behold because you were just like, oh, Golden State's gonna finally overcome them, but this guy just kept coming.
I was watching. I was looking at his box score numbers. I'm like, it did not feel like he went 12 for 26. It looked like he could not freaking miss out there. That's that type of impact that just lets you know how good a guy is. Because to go 12 for 26 and feel like you are overwhelming force in that game is some Kobe level shit. Like that,
he was balling, especially with his guy Domantas Sabonis not even be able to make
garbage. I never want to hear him and Bam in the same conversation ever again. Garbage.
Another player I was read about.
But not my number 8 would be Trae Young. This is where I get to Trae Young.
That's where I get. That's where I have Trae. That's why I have Trae too.
8, 9, and 10. 8, 9, and 10. Again, I'm going to stay again off the bat. 8, 9, and 10 are kind of interchangeable for me.
Not for me. 8 is where I cut off the elite point guard. And when this is where I get into the really good guys,
like the high level guys, maybe an all-star. So 8 for me was De'Aaron Fox. I had Jalen Brunson slightly above because De'Aaron Fox shot 51% from mid-range this year, but in the years before he wasn't close to that level. He was like 44%. If De'Aaron sustains that level of mid-range shot making, he's going to be above a lot of these guys. He could even surpass Trae, who I have at 6. But I want to see him do it one more year from a shooting perspective. Then at number 9, I've got Jamal Murray. I think he is in the top 10. And it's not that it's crazy to say that. I just think you have to establish yourself as a true number 1, the way a Ja, a Dame, and SGA have and surely will continue to do. And then at number 10, I've got
okay, wait. Before that, John. If that's the case, if those number 1s don't produce and Jamal and Jokic continue to make deep playoff runs, or Jamal continually do what he does that not moving up those rankings in a sense? Because the guys that aren't producing as a number 1 aren't winning as a number 1. That would make them a number 2.
Okay, it would move Jamal Murray from 9 to like 6 for me. But if he is the best number 2 in the league, like think of it this way. Well, it's a bad example because Klay Thompson was the second best shooting.
I got a great example.
But you're not going to surpass the number 1 until you do it yourself. Until then, you'll be the best number 2 that's better than someone's, but you're not better than the ones who have went far and have accomplished a lot.
Fair.
Okay, but here's what I want to, and this is not a great comparison either. It's an okay comparison. Because and I know like we weren't around, I was alive, but I was a baby. John, was about to be born. Shaq and Kobe, where Shaq was the 1 and Kobe was coming up, and he was a number 2. Would you say and just like Romain said, if they keep winning and Jamal Murray keeps producing like he's doing, which is special and elite, I feel like you might be missing out. And I'm not saying they might break up and then Jamal proves that he can be, but I'm just saying that that's kind of it. And I've said this is a comparison I made between Shaq and Kobe, not in the same way, but you know what I mean?
It's different for Shaq and Kobe sometimes for me, because outside of 01, where Shaq was so clear. Well, no, outside of 2000, where Shaq was so clear and wide the best player on that team, they were 1A, 1B type thing. In Denver, it's a clear 1 and 2 type thing versus Shaq and Kobe, where it's just year after year, the gap just got smaller and smaller to the point where at 2004, it was Kobe over Shaq at that point.
That's fair.
Actually, not even then. I think Shaq was still a little bit better at that point, but it was just the gap was just way smaller than this for Jokic and Murray.
To your credit, Brandon, Jamal Murray that says he could surpass Dame because Dame is going to be 34 years old one day. And Jamal just missed the last year and a half, last 2 playoff runs. If he can continue to build off of this, then hell yeah, he can get into the top 5. But I still don't think 2001 Kobe, the guy had averaged 30 points per game in that postseason run. That is still another level above Jamal. because I feel like with Murray, like Romaine pointed out, you understand his role in Denver, and that is what's perfect for his skill set. You're not asking Jamal to do anything more than what he's already so capable of. It's his exact strengths, which is his exact role. And so you see the best versions of him highlighted. But in the regular season, when Jokic was off the floor, the Nuggets struggle when Jamal Murray at times was running the second unit. And you would be like, well, if he was clearly this capable number one, he would be dominating in those stretches with reserves playing alongside him. But until he gets to that level, I don't think he'd be higher than 4 for me.
Fair. Fair.
Number 10, I had Tyrese Halliburton, and it took us 34 minutes to get here. How nice.
Tyrese.
Yeah, I got. It's between Tyrese and Kyrie for me at that level, and I think I'll go Kyrie. I go Kyrie over Tyrese in that sense for me because Kyrie, at least in this sense, Kyrie's proven something while Tyrese is young and very, very good, and he hasn't had a roster to prove it. But by saying that, I don't think I can say that you're better than somebody that's proved something when you're giving me 20 and 10 on a roster that also when you're also hasn't proven anything at the same time too. Yeah. I think I'll give Kyrie the nod in that sense, but it's not much. I think Tyrese after another year, especially if Indiana gets better and they make the playoffs, I think I'll put him over him. But I for this scenario, I'll give Kyrie the nod.
Where do the Pacers rank among the teams in the NBA?
Bottom 20.
So like bottom 10, like 24th, right?
Yeah.
In the 56 games Tyrese Halliburton played, that 25th best team in the league was 28-28. In the 28 games he missed, that terrible team was 7-19.
So they went from 20 to 15, John.
Way higher floor raiser than Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
I think his skill set as a selfless, he's basically LaMelo Ball, but he's a more developed decision maker, a little bit better defensively.
Way better finisher.
On top of that,
way better finisher.
Better finisher too. He shot 66% at the rim where LaMelo really struggles. And so if you're high on LaMelo, I think because Tyrese is more developed right now, you've got to have him in this discussion. I just think the availability, he missed 28 games, is still better than Irving too.
Wait, he shot 60. He shot 60. Check what is the percentage? I think his percentage from floater range is even better too. To be honest,
he's got a wonderful floater game, and this the short mid range stuff and the mid range shots too. He shot like close to 50% as well. So you consider his versatility as a 3-point shooter, where in every year of his career he shot 40% from downtown. His ability to be scalable off the ball and the decision making. He's the perfect number 2. And a point guard position where it's so rare you find yourself a number 1 championship team. The only one is really Steph Curry. We don't even know if Luka could truly lead a team yet because we want to see it after this embarrassing year. Tyrese would be Tyrese. The point here doesn't really matter that much. Tyrese would be the perfect number 2 for any team in the league because of how scalable his skill set is, and he's the perfect teammate. One of the best players and one of the best people in the league.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that end. It's just that when you go from being when you're bottom 10 without Tyrese, but then you're 15 with Tyrese, I don't know how much that moves me in that sense. And with Tyrese, at the end of the day, when you compare it to Kyrie, is that Tyrese may be a more elite decision maker, but overall as a scorer and a shot creator, I'll take Kyrie. And a number 2, when if you're gonna put him in Dallas or something like that, I would want Kyrie's skill set more than I want Tyrese, in a sense that you still get a certain level of playmaking and decision making with Kyrie that's still good, while also getting a way more elite shot creator in that sense versus Tyrese.
Okay.
Versus Tyrese, who's a better decision maker that would more fit a main ball handler role.
Look at that, Roman, defending Kyrie Irving.
But you know what? I would rather a versatile 21-10 player than a versatile 21-5 player. And by the way, Kyrie's
a 25. Kyrie's like a 25, 26 and 5 player. Come on.
Yeah, come on now.
You're kind of rebounding?
No, I'm talking about Kyrie, 25, 26 points per game. What are we doing?
Oh, I thought you said like 25, 5, and 5.
No,
I'm like rebounding, and I'm sorry, I don't care about my point guard rebounding. Usually, like if he gets 6 rebounds, that's cool. That's nice. I'd rather him just be an incredible shooter, which Halliburton is. He's a better shooter than
Kyrie.
When you look at Tyrese's shot profile, from mid-range, he's not better than Kyrie. Like, we can all agree there. From 3-point range, this guy is special. He has never shot below 40%, and that's on tough shots.
But you know what? I'm loving though, John.
Shoot player And a lot of these are as the focal point of the offense where he's getting the toughest assignment.
But
He's
John,
a great off-ball player.
You know what I love about today's NBA though? In the past 15 years, these are the first 2 back-to-back years where the average 2-pointer is worth more than the average 3. The NBA is getting back to that place again. No, it is 1.85 to 1.93. Like
kind of
no,
like
1.98.
Huh? Nice. It's kind of like football. Rushing is going up now, so I like to hear that. It's really cool.
1.98. So right now, your overall shot profile needs to work. And while Tyrese is shooting 40, something very high percentage from high clip, I would take the overall more well-rounded scorer in Kyrie. And in a again, I think Kyrie's skill set just matches what I want from a number 2 more than Tyrese. But Tyrese
shoots 47% from mid-range, by the way. 47%.
That's better than I thought it would be. But overall, either way, it's one spot. It's 10 and 11, bro. I'm not gonna harp too much on it. It's 10 and 11. It's one spot.
So let me finish on my list. My 9 and 10, again, interchangeable 8 through 10, is Jalen Brunson and then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
I'm not even gonna argue. We've been on this topic for way too long. I'm gonna just let it be. We already argued enough about Shai. I'm gonna just let it be. And by the way, my 12. I
like Shai a lot. I really like Shai.
My 12 is Darius. My 12 is Darius. And that's it.
My 12 is Kyrie after Darius. Honorable mentions: LaMelo, Drew Holiday, and not James Harden. Okay.
Damn, James really fell out that hard. That's crazy.
You know, I take James. James would be my 11th.
Okay,
at least he's still like. I mean, I know I'm the biggest like James Harden deflector, I guess, but I still understand his skill level and people arguing to me, well, he did win 2 games for Philadelphia. Okay, well, I'm giving him his just due, and John's over here saying, no, he's not.
Yeah,
he won 2 games for Philadelphia, but he also lost him 2 games.
That's what I'm saying. I understand that. Yeah, I know. I say that, but I'm just saying you got to give him his criticism, but you also got to give him his due, and that's what I'm doing here. He's number 11.
Where will Scoot rank in 3 years?
3 years.
I'm not. 12. I think he'll be above guys like James Harden.
I'm not gonna do that to him. I'm not top 15,
Good
top
job,
20, cool.
Man.
But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to him. I hate doing that to young guys, especially when rookie growth is not linear. Like people see a great rookie in your first year, you average 16. Let's say Scoot comes in averaging like 16 and 7, and then he does that again his second year. People are gonna say, "Oh, there's no growth." No, bro. Like let these guys grow. Let these guys develop. I'm gonna say year 5. He can be top 10 in like year 5, year 6. But I'm not going to say in 3 years he's going to be in the top 12.
Look at Tyrese Halliburton and LaMelo have entered this discussion.
And those guys are great.
Scoot's run a pro offense and 17 years old. He's already a good mid-range shooter, which is rare for a player that athletic. He's one of the best athletes you're going to see, though. And he's a good playmaker, too. But in the NBA G League with no spacing and a lot of draft prospects kind of looking to get their own. Last year's playing Jaden Hardy, Mason Daniels, he played with the right habits. But then all the other guys like Leonard Miller, Sidi Sissoko, there's so many different guys in that realm that it's really tough to build all the right habits. You put Scoot in an NBA environment with spacing. He's 6'4" with shoes on too. He's huge for the point guard position. Great athlete, good finisher. He can only get better from here. And with his experience, I'm all the way bought in on that hype, man. You can say he can be top 12 in 3 years too. He's a special prospect.
I just don't want to give predictions where I want to rank him at any time. I'm very high on him. I just don't like doing that to young guys. I just don't like doing that to young guys.
I like that. It's a good perspective to have. I'd say top 12.
Don't do it to the young guys.
Steal of the draft if it's at 3, hell yes. Freaking dumbass.
I think he's asking. Well, he can be a steal at 3. I think the steal of the draft is going to be either Maxwell Lewis. He's late first round. If he goes to the right team. Kobe Buffkin if he falls out the lottery, and there's also some reports Kayson Wallace falls out the lottery too. If Kayson falls out, I think one of those 2 point guards, him or Buffkin, could really surprise some people. With all that being said, Romain, we're going to do some trivia. It's going to be a couple of questions. You're welcome to join. If you don't want to, you can say peace. Up to you. I've got only one.
Wait. I just want to say I respect all the point guards in the league.
Me too.
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Oh, John's got the trivia. Okay, John, throw it at us. What is the topic, by the way? Oh, he's got his. Oh, he wrote it down. Okay.
I have to double check this because I heard this. I want to make sure that this one player, he might be eligible for this, and I don't want to give up Any misinformation. Okay. Oh shit. I think he is. This might be an issue. Brandon, can you start with first before I fact check this?
Okay, let's do it. I mean, this one is
Thank
I guess this one's going to be for John, but because you guys are both, basketball buffs, it can be for both of you, I guess, if you guys want to tag team it. Probably going to make it easier. But
And when you read it, since we're going to put this on TikTok, be sure to look at the camera too.
Gotcha.
ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You, Romaine, and John name the 10 players who have 10 or more all NBA first team selections.
10?
There's exactly 10, actually. There are exactly 10.
All right. Kobe Bryant. No?
No.
Oh,
Nope.
damn. Okay.
Oh, yes. No,
Okay.
sorry.
Kobe.
11. He's got 11. Apologize. He's
Okay.
got 11.
Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan's
Oh,
got 10.
wait a second. We got to go one-on-one here.
Okay.
Okay. So he's got 2. John, you take the next 2. So Tim Duncan and Kobe, yes. Tim's got 10. Kobe's got 11.
Okay. I want to say Hakeem. I want to get the names that are more difficult instead of the easier ones. But just to make it easy, Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Michael Jordan and LeBron. Yeah, LeBron's got 13 and Michael has 10 exactly.
Wow.
So that's 4.
That's why it's go.
Shaq.
So just one, Romaine. So Shaq, no, he's got 8.
Ooh,
John,
Okay, I'm tempted to say Hakeem because I'm going to need to get a name you're not going to think of. So, I don't think Larry Bird or I'm not even going to say that out loud. I'm going Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon, he's got 6.
Damn, really? Okay, the center position was so tough. That makes sense.
Yeah, Kareem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 10 exactly. That's 5.
Wow.
5 more to go. John?
Kind of cooked myself saying Hakeem.
Damn, there's a lot of longevity. Shit.
So you got.
Oh, wait. Did they have all NBA teams back then?
In the 60s, yeah. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think they had him back in like
I think there's
59.
one guy. I think there's another guy that's obvious
Bill
there.
Russell played for 13 years. I'm gonna go Bill Russell.
He's not.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
I don't think they existed because he's not even. Let me Google him real quick.
Wait, quick. Is there any point guards on this list?
1 second. Let me check Bill Russell's resume.
Yeah, they've had all NBA teams since the 40s.
He's only got 3.
Who? Bill
Russell's
Russell?
only got 3 first team. He's got 8.
Oh my
second.
god!
Oh, this is first team, which is good to know. That's
Yeah.
really
That's
that's
pretty
obvious. That's a whole
All right,
point.
is there any point guards on this list?
Point guards. I'll just say yes. There are point guards. I won't tell you how many are.
Oh, there's multiple.
I don't know if there are. To be honest with you, I think these guys are.
I
Point
want
guards.
to say him, but like he got drafted in 2007 or 2007 or 2006. Either. Would he have enough to have 10 of? I'm gonna say it. CP3? No, I don't even think he has 10 All NBA selections. Maybe.
Chris Paul, and he's got 4.
Okay, yeah.
He's got 5 second and 2 third. So he's got.
So,
11.
I guess Wilt got a lot of the first teams that Russ didn't. We're at 5 names currently.
Yes.
Wait, we didn't name Tim Duncan, did we?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
did.
you did. Yeah,
We
that
have
was
more
a-
than 5. We have more than 5.
No, you have 5. You have 5.
Oh, we have 5.
You have 5.
Steph Curry, naturally, I don't think
No,
he's had
not
enough
enough
first
time.
teams.
Not enough time.
Shit, this is a good question.
You also
You
got
know,
kicked out of like one of them.
I
by
really
game.
don't think Larry and Magic came in 80, and they're done by like 92, respectively. Damn, I don't. You know what? Yeah. Okay, Magic Johnson.
Make sure. No, he's got 9. Just a shit.
What? Jerry West?
Jerry West is on the list. He's got 10.
That's a good one. That's a great find.
6.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of guys in the 70s, but Kareem's the only one. The 80s, Larry really he was done by then. I don't think you. Yeah, I'm really struggling, so I'm not say Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. Nope. 9.
Yeah.
Oh, come
makes sense.
on.
You knew they were going to be close because they weren't getting second team All NBA, but they just didn't have enough longevity.
I want to say Dr. J, but I don't think he played enough time in the NBA at an elite level for that.
Larry?
No, Dr. J.
Oh, that's a good name. Let's check Bird real quick.
Oh, wait, Charles Barkley?
Nope. He's got 5.
Damn. I know Carl probably doesn't have him.
Elgin Baylor.
Yes, sir. He's got 10.
That makes sense. Shout out to Elgin. Rest in peace, Legend.
So you got 7. You got 3 left.
Oscar Robertson?
Nope. He's got 9.
Bro!
By the way, we have 6 so far.
7.
7.
Okay, so
3
I think
left.
I have 3 names, right?
There's 3 left.
You can shoot him. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I think you named 4. I named 3 because you got Duncan.
I got Duncan, Kobe, Jerry West, and
Kareem.
Somebody else? Kareem, yeah.
Okay, and I got LeBron, MJ, and Baylor. Wow, John, the first 2 were so hard.
Okay, so I'll give you guys these hints. You got 1 point guard left and 2 power forwards.
There's another point guard in here?
John Stockton.
John Stockton. No.
Oh,
How many did you get?
Where the fuck are you?
Zeke only played like 13 years, right? He can't be Zeke.
Where's Stockton?
Stockton's got like 12 All NBAs. I'm willing to bet 11. Yeah.
John Stockton has 2 first-team All-NBAs.
Damn.
Wow.
He deserves that.
Oh,
He deserves that.
top 5 point guard of some people. Only 2 first team All NBAs in the most easy time to get them. Wow.
It's not Stevie. It's definitely not Steve Nash.
Well, actually, played most of his career Magic. I shouldn't say that.
You guys are missing, like, I think definitively top 15, top 20 player of all time.
Kevin Durant.
No.
Kevin
Well,
Garnett?
I've made another guess.
No, not Kevin
No
Garnett.
Garnett.
No, because
John?
No, I said Kevin. Oh, I said Garnett. I wanted to say Durant. I said
You did say Durant.
You did say Durant. I said
You guys are
Garnett.
both wrong. You guys are both wrong. Both Kevins do not. Garnett's got 4. KD's got 6.
Wow.
John, it's your turn.
Is it Bozo?
It's both though.
Who's Bozo? Can you say
Karl
his name?
Malone.
Yeah.
It is Karl Malone with 11.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the name.
I want to
you're
erase
missing-
him from NBA history so
So
bad.
you're missing a point guard and you're missing a power forward / center, it says.
All right, so the point guard we're missing, he can't be from this decade.
Yeah, no way. Not even the last 2
Not the
decades.
90s. In the 80s, what point guard would it have been? We've got Santos in the chat dropping Dirk. I don't think so.
You'd have to share
You know
them
what?
with
I'm
Timmy and
gonna
Kevin
guess.
Garnett. David Thompson didn't play long enough.
I'm gonna guess Moses Malone.
Nope. Moses has 4 first-team All-NBAs.
And 3 MVPs. That's crazy. Wow.
I don't think George Gervin played for long enough for that. No, I don't think he did. Fuck, damn. This is tough. We only have 2 left, right?
Yep. Power
Rick
forward / center and a point guard.
Is Rick Barry on here?
Rick Barry is not the guy.
How many All NBA teams do we have? He was in the ABA, so he had 4 All ABA teams. That's tough.
Yeah.
I will tell you that both of these guys
Oh,
have
Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy is the point guard. Yep.
Yeah.
You're exactly 10. So 1 left. Power forward / center.
I should have guessed Cousy. It's a power forward / center.
NBA champion. MVP 2-time.
If it's who I think it is, I'm gonna be so freaking mad that freaking fossil is on here.
He's 90 years old.
Oh my god, it's the fossil, isn't it?
It's your guess, John.
Yeah.
I
If
give
he's
you enough.
90, then he played in the 1950s. So
Yes, sir. 2-time MVP, champion.
Atlanta Hawks, John.
wait, it's Bob Pettit?
Bob Pettit.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's the thing. In the 1950s, there was like the top 6, and they're getting first team every single season. So like half the guys came from them.
I'm immediately as soon as you said power forward center is 90 years, I'm like, yeah, it's the old fossil. Fucking hell.
That's mean. Shout out to Bob Pettit.
I'm just mad that so many other guys have 9 and shit, and then you have names like Bob Pettit that has like
and one of the crazy. Well, that's the thing. He only played 11 seasons, and he made first team All NBA, and I think maybe all 11. Maybe does he have 11 first teams?
Who?
Bob Pettit.
He's got 10.
Yeah. Okay.
The only people.
it was a St. Louis Hawks back then.
The only
You've
people
got to
have more than
respect him, though.
the only
That's-
people,
yeah.
the only
I
people
expect him more
have
than Kuzi.
the only people who have more than 10 are Karl Malone with 11, Kobe with 11, and LeBron with 13.
That's a good one.
That's
Okay.
a very good one. I like it.
I couldn't
really
believe it. It literally was 10 exactly players. I was like, wow, look at that.
It took less names than I thought it would.
Okay. So I've got a fun one.
John's got a fun one.
It's good.
Do you like Funyuns?
Okay.
Is it basketball or football or
Oh, it's basketball.
basketball?
Yep.
Is
Okay.
it going to be like deep in the crevices of basketball or is it?
No,
gonna be
it's an easy one. But okay.
I feel like, damn good. I think last time I did this with Romain, I carried him, but let's do it again.
I've never
No.
done this. I've never done this with y'all. You probably did it with
Who are the 3 most recent trios that averaged 25 points per game each in their last 3 seasons? Not year by year, but on average. They averaged 25 points per game in the previous 3 years.
How many trios are there?
There's 3 of these trios that I want you to name. The 3 most recent.
Trios. Okay, so it's not KD, Steph, and Clay. I know that. It's not.
Clay wasn't there.
Oh! I'll go first, Joe. Wait, did they have to do it? They didn't have to do it together, right?
No, they didn't have to do it
Okay.
together.
Cleveland Cavaliers, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron James.
Close, but not quite.
Kyrie never averaged 25.
I want to see
No,
what
K
year-
Love never averaged. Wait,
Yes,
no.
he did. He averaged 28,
Oh, yeah, Kevin Love did.
27 when he was in Minnesota.
So, yeah, Kyrie, he averaged
Kevin
in the
Love
years
was-
before 20, 22, and 18.
Damn it! I thought I had that one. Go ahead, Romain.
Oh, Russ, Katie, and James Harden.
Fuck you. That's a good shout. Yeah.
In Oklahoma City?
Oh, wait.
They don't have to do it together though.
They have to do it together. I thought that was the.
The previous 3 seasons.
Oh, previous before getting together. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. That's a tough.
Yes,
That's tough.
thank you. It is
Oh.
the previous 3 seasons before they came together as a group.
Oh, okay.
No. Then that's tough. That's
I got
tough.
one. I got one. The Boston Celtics big 3: Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett.
You would think, but Ray Allen was not quite there. Let me pull up the exact data.
Julius Irving, Moses Malone, and Charles Barkley.
Wait, actually,
Oh.
Ray Allen was
Yes, but
okay, but I'm going to check Garnett's. Garnett, meanwhile, before teaming up together in 2008, he was not. He was 22, 21, and 22 the previous 3 years in Minnesota. So Ray Allen made it, but KG didn't.
Okay, so what about mine?
He said Malone.
What was yours?
Charles
Malone.
Barkley, Julius Irving, and Moses.
Malone.
Charles Barkley when he was on the 76ers?
Yeah.
Fortunately not.
Oh, wait, he got drafted by 76ers, right?
Yep, in 85 or 84. His first 3 years, he averaged 14, 20, and 23.
Coming together, a big 3. We gotta think of.
Before coming together. No, this is hard. Shit.
I feel like I would have got big 3s. No, because Kyrie never did it. Fuck.
I want to go back into the old times, but I don't remember when these guys who got drafted by who. I want to say Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Wilt, but I don't even think they played together. Did they?
Here's a hint. It's actually kind of funny that
Are these like all in the same decade?
these guys, you've already named their names. Like you've already had the right idea, it's just the wrong combination for all of them.
Wait, these people.
Really?
People have been in more than one big 3.
Yes, but yeah, there's a lot of people that have more than one big 3.
What What team has James Harden?
Was it
been on?
LeBron again? It was. Chris Bosh never averaged 25, did he? He didn't.
Wait, maybe
What
some
happened?
old freaking coot that went. Come on, think.
Well,
Think.
it's not the Celtics. It's not
This
Bird
to help you
Celtics.
guys,
It's not
this is
Magic.
the three most recent. I think there have been some like I think back in the day, but this is like relatively modern. I'll put it that way.
Oh,
And no, Chris Bosh never averaged 25. He averaged 24.
Hakeem, Clyde, and Charles Barkley.
You're close.
Come on!
wait. I don't know if this counts because two of them were already together. One came to them. Malone, Shaq, and Kobe.
Close. By the way,
Bro!
Clyde. So here, FLB. So Clyde, before being traded to Houston in 1995, he averaged 19, 19, and 25 in the previous 3 years, so a little bit below. And then Braden, for the Karl Malone integration into the Lakers dynamic duo in 2004, he had 20, 22, and 23 points per game in the prior 3 years. So they're close, but he didn't make it.
How is this like we've named like
This is very modern.
Threes we've missed.
You've
He's
named
gotta
these
be like,
names. It's just the wrong combination of players.
I don't know any other combination.
Like it's very. I don't want you to think too hard. It's very easy, actually.
It's not KD because we've already named KD's big three. And
It's not,
the
okay.
Oakland three. LeBron, it can't be LeBron because it wasn't in Miami. It wasn't in.
It's not KD. Huh.
It can't be KD.
Couldn't possibly be, right?
No, because the Warriors didn't do it. Clay never.
Come on, it's just you got this.
The team that's right now, the Phoenix Suns, KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. The team that literally hasn't even played.
Of course, that's the one he picks. That's the one he picks for this
you
shit.
little sneaky
That's one.
fucker.
But there's two more.
Wow.
Oh my, no, he didn't average 25. I was gonna be so freaking pissed just now. I was about to say Jayson Tatum in them, but I was about to.
One sent ripple effects, shockwaves through the NBA when this player signed with the team back. I think it was within the decade, and they did not win a championship together, though. Like it felt like they were going to. And you've named this team. You've named one of the stars. One of the stars, the third star, you haven't named yet.
Oh no, wait. Okay, hold on. No. I was thinking Dwight and Harden, but
None of these trios won championships. At least the third one hasn't yet. We'll see when they do. If they do. Don't think too hard. It's pretty easy. This is back in 2019.
You said in the deck 2019?
Big trade. No, Steve Nash never averaged 25.
No. All right, you got a minute. 2019 off season. The team signed this player.
Wait, you said what season?
Wait, is it no, it's not
2018
KD,
off
Kyrie,
season.
and Russ because Russ didn't average 25 the 3 previous seasons.
This is very, very unexpected, but it makes so much sense. Yeah, Russ, unfortunately, we would think he'd make the list, but he doesn't. 2019 off season or 2018 off season, this player signed with a team that was very good, and people got very pissed.
No.
I promise you guys, you're gonna be like, oh, I should have known that when I named it to you. Come on, think about what happened in the 2018 playoffs and what transpired in the 2019 playoffs.
Oh,
It's the
Kawhi.
previous 3 years.
Oh no.
It can't be LeBron because he went to the Lakers.
Yeah, Kawhi was coming off his injury. That was the
Yeah.
year.
The Western Conference, the 2018 playoffs.
Western Conference.
A key injury to a key player that
KD.
lost some money and then was set to be a free agent and maybe
What's a kid? It's not KD.
decided to leave that team, joining a different one
It's not
that
KD or
had
Kyrie.
won a championship
Who the fuck is it?
the prior year.
Who the fuck is it?
What the? Wait, what? Wait, what? Did what?
I don't get this.
Won a championship the previous year, you said?
Yes, this player is a 4-time All-Star.
Nothing to do with Derrick Rose.
Nope. Derrick Rose is on the East Coast. This is in the West. And I'm telling you guys, it's so. Just think about the 2018 offseason. What happened? You got it. It's all right. I'm gonna have to give you guys the answer.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm
When the
shocked.
Warriors signed
DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh my God!
Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Boogie qualified for this category. But there is one more missing on a Kevin Durant team from very recent.
Oh, these are all KD.
No. Oh, wait, yes.
Oh my goodness!
Who else could it be? It can't be OKC. Because Romaine guessed it. It can't
Process of elimination, he's playing 4 teams, so there's one left.
be Brooklyn.
Wait, no, but I was gonna say Blake, but Blake didn't average 25. That 1 year, the later year in Detroit.
It's so simple. You got it.
Is it LaMarcus? It's not LaMarcus, is it? No.
Guys, come on. Marcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin over James Harden, Kyrie, and KD?
I already
said
said
Kyrie
it.
never-
I
you
said
said-
that. I said that first.
You
I
said
that
Kyrie
first.
never averaged 25.
No, Kyrie's the average more than 25.
That was in Cleveland.
But I know I said Kyrie, KD, and James Harden.
You did?
Yeah.
Kyrie, James Harden, and KD qualify.
Okay.
Kyrie,
This list.
This is also a very bad list for KD to be on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's not a good
Yeah.
list to be on KD.
this is definitely a very confusing one because I'm like,
Yeah,
you know, what are the 3 most recent? And you're thinking of all the players from like the 2000s, and really, it's very.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
modern.
all the big trios that have been together, that got together when they were old, but like
That is per Dan Feltman. Shout out to him. He makes some great work. And I'm thinking to myself, like, didn't Wilt, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor qualify for this? And I'm pretty sure they did. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna make the 3 most recent and keep it very simple.
But that's why I said I said those 3.
You did?
Yeah, I said Elgin Baylor and Jerry West.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, they're not one of the 3 most recent. But let me double check. And that's the thing. It's a little bit confusing because Kyrie in 2021, the previous 3 years, he averaged 24.6 points per game. So I'm like, I'm just rounding up to 25. It's close enough. But yeah, I'm pretty sure when Wilt was traded to the Lakers in 1968, the previous 3 years, that guy averaged 27 points per game. And I'm pretty sure Elgin did too. I know West did. Let me double check. Do you have anything else, you guys? No.
I do, but I think I'd like to save them. But
Save it?
yeah,
That's good. Perfect. Yeah, actually, no. So back in 1968, Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain would qualify, but with Elgin's injuries, I don't think he would. He averaged 26, 16, and 27 the previous 3 years. So
can't believe I didn't get Boogie.
yeah, man.
The Boogie one definitely threw me for a loop.
Kawhi,
but-
PG, and Russ is fascinating. I don't
It
think
isn't because
Russ
Russ was
averaged-
on the Lakers. Russ was on the Lakers for 2
Yeah,
years.
and
didn't average
Washington.
25.
after leaving Houston, where he averaged 27, he hasn't been a 20-point per game scorer.
I think he did.
Wait, he didn't average. He averaged 20 in Washington.
Oh yeah, you're right. He averaged 22. You're right. So he has been a 25-point per game scorer, is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the last 3 seasons though.
So, with all that being said, that'll wrap up episode 113 of the Wise Guys podcast. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. We've got more to come in the NBA offseason. And shout out to Remain for joining us. I put in the Twitter plugs, forgot to plug them up until now, but we've got them. If you haven't already, be sure to check out the Twitters. Thank you guys for all the support. And as always, until next time.
Stay classy.
Yes.